Хөрхөн охид trap сонсон. Trap сонсон, trap донсон. Түүний сонсдог хөгжим дур булаан. Дагаж дуулан дур булаа мууруулаа.
Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. We got a great show today. We got Alan Jouban in studio, coming off a huge win over Ben Saunders. That was one of the best fights
That
I've
was
seen.
like 2 years ago, bro. You can stop hyping that shit.
Still a great fight. Still a great fight. And Ben knocked out Ellenberger.
Yeah,
so
true,
I mean,
man.
he's Ben still got it. And of course we got the Weendawg here.
What's up, dude?
And the Greg Wilson or
Hey.
Greg Romero Wilson.
Yeah.
Oh, you dropped a the?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, Greg Romero Wilson. And of course, I want to thank our sponsor, Speedweed. Listen, people, marijuana is now legal in California. No reason to leave your house to get it. Okay, they will deliver it right to you. And they got everything from marijuana to CBD to marijuana sex, cannabis enhanced sexual lubricant, marijuana beef jerky, flour, oil, vapes, everything. They got the best marijuana you could smoke, and they will come right to you. No point of having to get out of your car or get into your car, spend money on gas. You go to a dispensary now, it's like a Vons. The line is down the block. You got to wait. Yeah. It's pretty annoying people in there sometimes. Okay, so they will come to you. I know time is very valuable. Have them come to you. Go to speedweed.com. Follow them at Speedweed on social media. Follow them on Instagram. Check them out. Mention Roasted. You get $10 off. Orders $100 or more. The guy Gino's, he's the guy in charge. Really, really great guy. Super happy. Now, Alan.
Yo.
You were supposed to fight last week.
Damn it, I was.
UFC Germany. And then you broke your neck. What happened?
Basically, it feels like it.
That sucks.
Man, I went through an entire fucking camp. You know, I did, like you said, the last fight was Ben Saunders. Broke my foot in 4 places in that fight. So I went through the recovery of that, got healthy, went through an entire camp, 8 to 10 week camp, killed it. I mean, I was in beast mode. And then 2 weeks before the fight, wrestling, you know, wrestling is what did it. But I shot in on a Monday on Kenny Johnson. He stuffed it hard. And, you know, I got a stinger. And my arm kind of was tingling, but whatever. I was able to train throughout the week. And then on Friday for sparring, I went to shoot in on Eve Edwards. And I punched, and then I changed level, and I shot. And it was the same. He's southpaw as well, and so is Kenny Johnson. So it was the same collision, the same.
Now, were you fighting a southpaw, which is why you were going?
Yes, exactly. So I've been going to a lot of southpaws. So 2 stingers in the same spot in the same week, and my arm went numb.
I didn't even know Eve was that there. Eve trains with you guys?
He was at Muscle Farm on Friday when I trained at Eve. Kenny Johnson was at Black House. So,
right.
Yeah.
I love the names of these places.
Muscle Farm,
Muscle
Team
Farm.
Alpha Male,
Alpha,
Black
exactly.
House.
They're getting more creative as they go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, 2 stingers in the same week. And, look, I have a pretty good pain tolerance. But when you have, like, a bulged disc in your neck or your nerves...
Now, Kenny's your coach. Did your coach get upset for hurting you?
Man, he felt bad. But like I told him, it wasn't him. Like, you know, it was the accumulation of everything. You know, it was getting 2 stingers in the same week. And then, you know, just getting an x-ray and an MRI on my neck, they show you. They're like, dude, because of what you do for a living, you're going to have arthritis. You're going to... So I already had shit going on. But at the end of the day, the reason I had to cancel the fight, I had two what do I call it, bulge disc and 2 bone spurts in my neck, and my left arm was numb. So it was tough to watch, man. It was tough to watch that fight. It's always weird watching somebody that you fought already or watching someone fight in your place because you don't really know what to do. You know, do you root for the guy that
right.
beat or
so
lost to? Or do you...
So who were you supposed to fight?
I was supposed to fight Danny Roberts.
Right.
I had to cancel. They replaced me with a local German guy. They went in there. And I'm not being a hater, bro. I don't have hater in me. I get jealous. But it was a sloppy fight, dude. I would have smoked both of them. I'm just being completely honest. I'm speaking from the heart here. I would have smoked these guys. The kind of shape and preparation that I did for this fight, the kind of shape that I was in the preparation for this fight, I was watching it thinking, holy shit, I would have smoked these guys. And they got fight of the night. They got the 50G bonus.
Were you training with the guy who knocked out Saki?
Yeah, Khalil Roundtree.
How's that going?
Yeah, training with him. Man, what a huge win, dude. Like, Khalil was super nervous. I think he was coming off a loss or 2, and you're going against arguably one of the best kickboxers ever stepped foot in the octagon. And we were saying, just fucking wrestle him. And me and Khalil were kind of working our wrestling the entire camp together. I wasn't sure if he was going to take the risk of wrestling. I say the risk. It was a smarter option. But when you're a natural striker like Khalil is and kind of like I am, shooting in on his takedown is like, it's iffy because you're like thinking, fuck, if I don't get it, then I'm burning all my energy. Then I'm kind of.
So you didn't see that fight going that way at all?
I thought he might take him down. I didn't think he was going to knock out Saki in the first fucking round. Like
that was amazing. And there was another
insane.
guy from Kenny Johnson's camp that won too recently on LFA.
Shit, dude. They went Black House went 5-0 on LFA last weekend. I can't even start naming off the guys, but Black House has been on a tear, man. They're doing really good lately. Like I said, it was just hard for me to watch the fight that I know I probably would have put him away. I feel like I would have put Danny Roberts away, but if not, it would have been fight of the night. That card had 9 decisions.
Yeah, it was rough.
And so anything that was remotely exciting got the fight of the night.
Yeah, I was making a decision to go back to bed.
Yeah, exactly.
I was trying to watch it, and then I'm like, what the? I was watching it at 1 in the afternoon, but a lot of them, because it was Sunday morning, and I was up late at night Saturday at the haha, and I'm like, all right, I'll get up 9:30 to watch this, and I'm like, Jesus, like, man, this
I did the main card. I didn't do the. I didn't watch.
Which, by the
much
way,
of
funny thing, I go to the haha, and Adam texts me, hey, can you do the podcast on Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
From noon to 2, whatever. And I go inside and he's on stage. And I'm like, did you text me on stage?
Yeah, right.
And he's like, come to mind. He's like telling a joke. He's like, hey, you ever want to call your girlfriend on her birthday? Just wait a minute, hold on.
No,
Greg
it
real
was,
quick.
first of all, it was in between shows. I was hosting in between,
Okay, I
tried to, because, you know how it is, man.
Time was just hilarious.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
How
did he do this right now?
You know, sometimes when you're hosting, you don't get bored, but you're like, all right, what can I do that's productive while someone's on stage? You know, I'm watching them to see if something's funny I can pick up on and yada yada. But sometimes she overbooks it where it's just bring the next person up, bring the next person up.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
So I'm just like, okay, I'm like making a flyer or I'm booking the podcast.
I just thought it was funny because I'm like, when did he have time for this? He's on stage right now.
Oh yeah,
Man, I see on Instagram you post a lot of these. Like you have a picture of some of the people that you're doing the show with, and sometimes there's like a lot of really pretty girls. Sometimes there's like a lot of like recognizable fighters or athletes. Are these people funny? Like I'm not like making fun of them, but I'm just like I'm impressed. To me, that's scary as hell. But I see these like really pretty girls. I'm like, are they funny or are they just good looking?
No,
so
a lot of the girls are funny. Most of the girls are funny. The ones that are comics are funny. You know, some are funnier than others. But sometimes I'll book like 11 comics on a show, and I'll make like 5 different flyers. And I'll put like the 4 girls in bikinis on one flyer, so it looks like they're the only ones on the show. Because I know that flyer will get 10,000 more comments.
You're not putting the ugly funny guys.
Comedy, reputable, dependable, possible.
But so like, people are always like, these people are like, wow, these people look hilarious, or like, because they're like,
I know.
The comments are funnier to me.
You also have to remember this is L.A. and that's who's trying to do that here.
Yeah, there's a higher percentage
it's not like this other places, I assure you.
No.
But no, I did a show with Sokuju and Sam Alvey and Galicio.
Right. I'm seeing these people. I'm like, fuck, these guys are doing Sokuju? Is he funny?
He was very charismatic. He had a couple really good jokes, but someone said they heard the joke before. I'm like, look, if you took the joke, I'm not going to tell Sokuju I think you took a joke. Yeah. Like, I'm not going up to that guy. But he was funny. He was very charismatic. Galicio is funny. Sam Alvey told a very long story.
Oh, really?
But he is also a very charming guy.
Did he smile at all?
The entire time he was smiling at his own jokes.
But sometimes it only seems like he smiles only when he gets hit in the face. Like he gets hit in the, and like knocks the smile into his face.
That dude loves. That's probably. I think that's scarier than a guy that wants to kill you. Is a guy that's just laughing the entire time. For some reason, if I was fighting a guy that's like,
that's what I'm saying. It seems like that's his reaction. Like, he gets popped, and he's like, like good one.
Oh, unbelievable! But I'll tell you. So I've having the weirdest. So I'm doing comedy 20 years. I auditioned for the Montreal Comedy Festival 4 years in a row.
Sure.
And at year like 8, 9, and 10, 11, and I kept getting 4 callbacks and then not getting it. And one time I got 4 callbacks, and they called me. They're like, we want to see you again tomorrow. Like, you saw me yesterday. Like, what's going to change? So we want to see another club. And that was the time when an old lady in the crowd threw a menu at my head and got offended at a joke. Hit me in the middle of my head with a menu within 4 seconds of my comedy routine. And I couldn't recover. It was like fucking...
That only happens when you really need it.
Of course. It was like, of course, Nolan Ryan's grandmother's in the fucking crowd and hurls a menu at me. So now, my wife is due on the 28th. I got a call last week. Guess what, Adam? You got into the Montreal Comedy Festival. I didn't even audition this year.
Yeah.
They just gave it to me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, great. The show is the 28th, which is like my wife's due date.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck. All right, obviously I'm not going to miss my wife's due date because the rest of my life I'll hear from her. And you weren't even there for your daughter's. Like, I'll be like, hey.
Now it's obviously.
No, it was always obvious. But I know I'll be like, hey, babe, can you like DVR the fight?
There was a good 2 weeks there where you were like, could I? I mean, what if it had? And then I could just leave that.
Yeah,
Like,
I thought he was going to say, well, obviously I'm not going to miss a Montreal Comedy Club. It's obvious.
Obviously.
20 years.
Obviously, man.
Because I know I'll be like, babe, could you DVR
Maybe
this
it's come and
fight?
go.
I don't want to miss the fight. Well, you missed the due date. I could just. So I'm like, I got to do it, right?
You have to name your daughter Montreal.
So now there's like people are telling me there's like ways to get her to induce labor quicker, whether it's skydiving or bungee jumping or things that stairs. I'm not going to do that, but they say sex does, right? They say sex does. So I'm like,
Just
hey,
knock her down the stairs.
So now I'm like, well, I want to have sex with her all the time, but she's on to me. She's like, you just want to go to Montreal. I'm like, no, I really want to. I'm into 9-month-old women. That the fucking she turns me on. She's like, well, why are you talking French during sex? But I'm nervous. But the thing was, so last week I'm supposed to go to Myrtle Beach last week to do comedy, and Tuesday night I get a phone call. I'm over to the airport. I'm over to the show before I go to the airport. She's like, I'm like, babe, I'm headed to the airport after the show. I love you. I'll be back. And when I bought the ticket for the show, I'm like, babe, the 17th to 21st, you don't think this is gonna be around? Oh no, you'll be fine, right? Cut 2-3 months later, babe, I'm on the way to the airport. Well, just so you know, you're gonna miss the birth. I'm like, what do you mean I'm gonna miss it? She's like, yeah, I'm not feeling well. I think I'm gonna have to go to the hospital tonight. So I'm like, really? Like, okay. So I call the booker, who picks up the phone while he's on stage, like thinking that it'll be funny, like, oh, I can't find the condo or something.
Right.
So then I'm telling him, I think my wife's pregnant. I think she's gonna give birth. Now people are laughing because this is like part of his act now, And he's like, you know what, Adam, be there for your wife. I'll get someone else. So then I'm like, okay. I like stay in last week. We go to the doctor. They're like, well, on a 1 to 4, as far as dilated, you're at a 0. So she's not even.
She hadn't even started nothing.
So she's looking at me like, sorry, I'm like, it's okay, babe. I'm here for you.
Good call, right words, good word, good man.
But now I'm like, I'm just nervous. I'm nervous, but it is what it is.
Hey, listen, you got the ticket. If you can go, you can go. If you can't go, you can't go.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, wait, when she called you, she thought, did her water break or anything like that happen?
No, she's like, I'm feeling like I'm going to give birth. I'm like, okay, well then, and of course it's also, I'm doing the Kevin Hart show, like the Kevin Hart showcase. That's the one I have to get right now with the biggest comic. And the baby will still be bigger than Kevin Hart when it comes out. But, so, yeah, that's what
you just lost the show.
So that's what I'm dealing with. But I'm excited, though. I'm excited. Now, was your wife in a lot of, when she gave birth?
I was telling my son the story the other day. I don't think he's old enough to get it. But, yeah, we went to bed at midnight, and at 1 in the morning, she screamed bloody murder, and I jumped up, and her water broke, and then, it was on, man. We had the bag packed and all that, and went to Cedar Side 9 and did it, man. But I was telling my son it the other day and trying to avoid the actual where babies come from question.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying? Like that stuff. But, yeah, I was telling him the other day about that. He's only 5, so yeah.
Okay.
He's the one that fell in the fountain at like my wedding.
Yeah.
He fell in the fountain.
Yeah.
But I was telling him that the other day that he's famous because he was born at Cedars, which is like a pretty famous hospital in terms of like people that have been born there and people that have died there. You know what I mean? Celebrities and whatnot.
Wow.
A lot of people have been in and out.
I haven't been going to a lot of the OBGYN visits because I've been on the road.
Yeah.
But I went last week, Greg, and I didn't realize that the doctor was going to stick his fingers up my wife's vagina.
Yeah.
Like no one. I wasn't really prepared for that.
You gotta get a female doctor, dude.
No, I got a male doctor. Luckily, he's like an Asian guy. He has small fingers.
Yeah.
But still, I was looking at him.
Okay, I have nothing to feel threatened about with those.
But I'm looking at him and I'm like, if this guy smiles, I'm gonna fuck. It's on. There's no way. But and then of course I'm making jokes. Like the nurse comes in, she's like, "Okay, take off your panties." I'm like, "Me too." And then she just didn't. No one laughed, but except for Joe. So
I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, yeah, they gotta root. Of course, if they've had a male gynecologist at any point in their life, they've already gone through this a bunch. Where I mean,
yeah, but being there with them is different.
Yes, I know, but it's just like.
Have you ever been with a girl while a doctor shoved his fingers up?
I think doctors
didn't call
feel
him a
awkwardness,
doctor.
you know.
What did you call him?
The guy that brought the Coke.
Oh, nice. Got it. Now, also, so I called Alan last week because I went to jiu-jitsu and I was rolling I roll a little hard because I'm a wrestler and yada yada. And this kid had me in the sweep. It was the same sweep that I tore my ACL on, an electric chair sweep.
Like an electric chair, yeah.
It was an electric chair,
Oh,
and the thing is that it's such a fucked up move because you don't know that you're in pain. It's not really a painful move. It's uncomfortable, but they can pop your leg. And then the kid afterwards says to me, "Hey, man, did your leg pop?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Okay, good." I go, "Why, did you hear it pop?" And he said, "No." And then I came back, and my leg was kind of funny all week. It wasn't feeling like, and I was worried about if I was gonna take a shot, and then my leg would.
How's it
crumble.
feeling now?
Feels okay. Like I took your
Right.
advice. You told me if you don't hear a pop, you're okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I also said that like a lot of times when you get in those compromising positions, it's gonna feel funny for a week, but then it'll probably kind of go die
If it
down
pops,
and
what
whatnot.
popped?
Well, I mean, if hopefully not a ligament, but something.
Right.
Usually it's a ligament or meniscus tear or something like that. But if he didn't feel initial pain, a shooting pain, or hear a pop, then it's probably just you stretch something out and it maybe got a little swollen or something.
Well, I asked him. I said, "What did you do?" He's like, "Well, I didn't crank it, but I didn't hear a pop, so I thought I was doing something wrong." And I'm like, "Wait, what is that?"
We're trained.
I was really going for that pop.
Yeah, I was really
Like really?
kinda let
Like
down.
is that?
Wow.
I'm not sure that's what he said, but that's what I heard. I might be misquoting the guy right now, but I'm like, holy shit, that. I'm nervous now about going back to jiu-jitsu because I don't want to fuck up my knee again.
It's a weird position because, without getting too technical, the electric chair is kind of more of like a hip.
It's like they're making you do the splits.
Right, they're kind of like making somebody force them into a split position. So it's kind of like submitting you from the hips, but your knee's the first thing to go. So it's kind of sneaks up on you, and that's probably why a lot of people get injured without knowing.
Yeah, I know.
Can I tell you, my knee is like ringing just talking about that.
Yeah, same
No,
with
so
me.
many people I know said they tore their ACL doing the same thing, and
You
I'm
don't wear
like,
like a knee brace when you roll?
I was wearing a knee brace.
Okay.
So I'm happy I did that, and my knee didn't pop, but I still
Like
made
an
me-
ace bandage type.
Yeah,
yeah.
but it still made me think like, what am I doing this for?
Maybe time for you to wonder if you're too old to start training in jiu-jitsu.
You think so? I like it though, and it's good for my whole.
Yeah, like-
but I went to Muay Thai yesterday, and over at 5 Star.
Okay.
And that was
5 Star.
5 Star is Henzo Gracie's gym. He opened up right over here.
Okay.
And Kenny.
The
not-
Jet.
No,
Vinny.
what's his name?
Vinny.
Kenny the Jet Smith,
Yeah,
basketball analyst.
they got a really good. They have a really good. Not Kenny Johnson. Kenny, what's his name? Kenny Thompson. Kenny.
We're talking about what sport?
Jiu-jitsu. The guy.
Oh,
Yeah, he's actually.
Jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai?
No, the Muay Thai. Jamie was helping me. This guy, Jamie. Jamie Kilstein, who's a comic, but also really good at Muay Thai.
Florian.
And- what?
Florian.
No. Jamie
Florian?
Kilstein.
No, he's you're trying to
Kenny.
find the last name of Kenny.
No, not I'm trying to think of the guy's name. He's the main guy at 5 Star. Now it's like totally fucking with me.
TriStar or 5 Star?
5 Star MMA.
I'm so confused right now. You need to smoke some more of this speed weed.
No, I've been going to 5 Star MMA, and the guy's really good. And I'm trying to think of the guy's name. And he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy, and he happens to be super nice. And I'll find it. Anyway, so fights over the weekend. What did you think of the fights over the weekend? The main event, Anthony Smith.
Yeah, man, Smith, he's a beast. He did exactly what he needed to do as well, man, when it comes to capitalizing on momentum. He fought not that long ago, got a big win over Rashad Evans, which is a feather in your cap, even if Rashad was on the downside of his career. But to get a win over Rashad Evans in that fashion, and to step up late notice, main event this Germany card, take out another legend, another former champion, and then to call out, what's his name, Gustafsson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he would be fighting 3 times in 2 months against big names. Like, it was such a smart move, and I don't think it's going to happen anymore. I think Gustafsson said that he's injured now, but just him making that call out kind of put him on the radar for a lot more people. I think his stock went up greatly. But
Sean
overall,
Wi-
you know, it was an okay card.
Sean Williams, that's the name of the guy in charge.
Sean Williams is the jiu-jitsu coach over there.
Yeah. So we've had Anthony Smith on this podcast back when he was in Victory Fighting Combat, VFC.
Yeah, he
before
was on LFA as well. I think,
and I'm really happy for that guy because he's a super sweet guy, nice guy, hardworking guy.
Yeah.
Does grappling. I remember he did the grappling submission tournament back when he was.
Really?
Remember Heather Jo Clark brought her boyfriend at the time?
Yeah.
Were you on that podcast? And he was.
I was on a podcast with Heather Jo Clark.
And her boyfriend, who was like from, I don't know.
Like the wrestler dude?
Yeah. And they were
You
like.
mean Connor?
No, they were doing all kind. No, not Connor. That's her new boyfriend.
Yeah.
Her ex-boyfriend she dated, who was also a fighter, a team
Kind of
alpha
looked like
male.
Jesus.
He looked like Jesus a little bit, yes. And he went up against him in grappling and submission-only grappling with Chael Sonnen's thing and lost, but he's challenging himself. And I like Anthony Smith a lot.
Wait. Let me run this back. So Anthony Smith went up against the Jesus
Yeah,
ex-boyfriend, and who won?
Not Anthony Smith.
Anthony lost.
Yeah,
to
Anthony
this guy.
lost.
So this guy's a good grappler.
Beast, really
Okay.
good grappler.
Gotcha.
But Kenny's a good dude. And I remember, Anthony Smith was a good guy. I remember when he came on the show after he lost, he was all depressed and he got knocked out. And he's just a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve. And
Yeah.
I
didn't know he had so many fights, man. Honestly, like I remember seeing him in the LFA or the RFA, and I just assumed that since he was in the RFA still, that he was like most guys in the RFA are kind of in that under 10 fights. You know, they're like 8-2. They're on the cuffs of getting, you know, to the UFC. And so I just kind of assumed he was one of those guys. I looked at his record when he fought Shogun this weekend. He's like 33-13 was his record.
Yeah.
He had more fights in Shogun. He had more fights than anybody on the card. I didn't realize he was such a
took
veteran.
a short notice fight to get into the UFC, lost a unanimous decision in Brazil, got cut.
Oh, against that tough Brazilian dude.
Yeah, worked his way back up, got in, and he's one of these dudes that's always in the fight. Like he loses the first 2 rounds and then just knocks you out with some crazy elbow in the third.
Yeah.
It happens over and over again. And he's a good dude from Nebraska, half black. Solid.
Is he?
Yeah, solid guy.
He's a beast, man, and honestly, he's in 2 divisions. I say 2 divisions because he's kind of a middleweight that jumped up to light heavyweight. But he's in 2 divisions that, no disrespect to everybody in those divisions, those are kind of the weak, one of the more weaker divisions. 85 and 205, in my opinion. Like you could, he's on a tear, but he could have gone to LA and fought Gustafsson, and if he would have beat Gustafsson, he could be the next guy fighting DC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He could still be the next guy fighting DC or something at if DC fights at 205 again. But it's like those divisions, man. You beat 2 guys, and you could be the next guy in line.
That would be a really hard
It
fight
seems
for
like
him.
the talent pool thins out the further up the scale you go.
Yeah, the bigger the
The
guys.
bigger it gets, the fewer guys there are
fewer
doing
athletes.
it.
Yeah.
Well, so many guys going to football.
I was gonna say because
Yeah.
those bigger guys have other sporting
No,
options.
I also think 125 and heavyweight are the 2 ones because how many guys you know that are 125 in real life?
Yeah.
And how many and heavyweights are like, all right, I can go into the NFL and be the 19th
Yeah.
best player in the team and make more than being the second best guy in the world at UFC.
No,
So-
you're right. Yeah, I mean, you got to really love fighting at that size. Although there have been a lot of guys that once they were done with football have tried to do the fighting thing afterwards.
Yeah,
It hasn't worked out most of the time.
No, usually it doesn't.
Hardy guy and guys like that. I take it back. You know what? I think 85 might be a little bit more stacked than 205 when you're talking in terms of the UFC. But nonetheless, man, like DC was saying, maybe if Shogun wins, he would be my next fight. And I was like, even though Shogun was on a 2-fight win streak or something, it's
Yeah.
kind of funny to think that he's the next in line. Shogun.
Totally.
you know?
It was weird even seeing him fight again. It was like,
Yeah.
I was like, didn't you retire?
And his body did not look like
you know
this.
what's crazy,
Shouldn't
bro?
you retire?
And look, I'm a huge Shogun fan, so I feel bad saying this, but we're the exact same age, man. And it's kind of rare to find somebody in your life that you were born the exact same day. We were born the exact same day, November 25th, 1981.
You and Shogun are the
Me
same
and
age.
Shogun. And so we fought
How
together.
come he looks 30 years older than
I
you?
know. And so we fought together in Brazil, and that's how I figured it out. And I was like, fuck, I've been watching this guy forever. I didn't know we were the
Forever.
same age. And damn it, I thought he had like 10 years my senior or something.
At
but
least.
We were born the same day, man. It's crazy. He's
I think he's got one of them.
he's been
fudge
doing it for a
South
long
American
time.
Tickets.
yeah.
Someone did a little grease paint, little change the number, something.
I remember when Anthony.
Maybe so.
I remember.
Photoshopia.
Or I had some work done, one of the two. But
Really, I don't know. No, we
You're
do-
also half Asian, right?
no, not at all. But
Okay,
I'll go with it.
but yeah,
No, not at all. Where did you even get that?
he looks half Asian. But now I'll tell you though, one of the funniest was Anthony Smith when he called into the show, and Diego Sanchez took his nickname Lionheart. Were you on that show?
I remember
he
that.
was so angry. like he wanted to fight Sanchez.
Oh, yeah?
Because his nickname has been Lionheart
Put the
his whole
nickname
life.
back, yeah.
So then I kept calling him Diego Lionheart Sanchez just to piss him off even more. Yeah, he's a good sport.
What's
I like
Diego
the guy.
Sanchez's nickname now?
Well,
Nightmare.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah,
Nightmare,
the
then a
Nightmare,
dream.
yeah.
Then it became the Dream. Then it was Lionheart.
The Dream wasn't good.
No.
The Dream.
The Nightmare I think was the best one.
Yeah.
Isn't that Bubba's son's name? Dream, right?
Yeah.
Dream with a J though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, with a J.
I don't like it for a nickname. As
A J no D or JDREA?
JREAM.
Bubba Jank.
Dream.
Bubba Jank's son.
Dream.
Hey, that kid is gonna be a beast, by the way, man.
Yeah, I
His
see
son-
him
I don't doubt
wrestling.
it.
Look, dude, I think my son is semi-athletic, pretty athletic. You know, he can do cartwheels, he can do Muay Thai stuff. He's pretty decent in soccer. Bubba J's son comes to the gym, who's like a year younger, and this kid, he's doing like backflips and shit. He does like 3 or 4 cartwheels in a row, then he double. Like, I watch his movement, and I'm like, this kid is on another level. He's gonna
I
be
saw
something
Bubba
special.
on Facebook wrestling with his son and daughter.
Yeah.
He does Facebook Live, and it looks like he's just like a one of those lions that are training their little cubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
No,
snaps
it's
them
right.
down so hard, dude, that they're conditioning their neck. They're going to be so strong. Like, necks are going to be so strong. Like, I'm all gentle with my son, just more technical. But Bubba, like, snaps him down hard, dude. And his son, like, he'll sprawl on all 4 and shoot in. Like,
At least Bubba's fighting somebody.
he's going to...
No. How is Bubba? Does Bubba have?
Love you, Bubba.
Does he have a fight coming up? What's going on with Bubba?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It seems... And I don't know. I can't speak. He might have a fight next weekend. I've been, like I said, I've been hurt for 3 weeks or so I haven't been in the gym. But from when I was in the gym, Bubba seemed to be kind of taking more of a coaching role. You know, he's been coaching a lot of guys. He was with RDA quite a bit for his fights and going and doing seminars and whatnot. And I saw he was trying to open up his own kind of a wrestling school thing. And he was doing a lot of videos online. You saw his videos that he's been doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing these kind of like...
Well, I saw him preaching also.
Yeah. He was doing what?
He was preaching at a church.
Preaching at a church?
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Bubba's doing it all. Damn it,
Like he
Bubba.
said, like Jesus had a message for him or something, but you had to tune into his live church. I don't know why you couldn't just tell everyone on Facebook, but
Yeah.
you get to tune in. But
Come on, Bub.
I guess
Listen, the guy's a showman.
He's a showman.
so.
He's trying to build interest in the Lord.
Yeah, of course.
I get it.
Yeah,
It
all
happens
right.
to a lot of people. later in
What?
life.
No, a lot of people just become preachers.
No, but get very spiritual later in their life.
Yes.
But what's next for Anthony Smith? So he was going to fight Gustafsson. Everybody wanted to see that, but now
Yeah.
Gustafsson's hurt. But they also mentioned Jimmy Manoa. Do you think that's a good fight for Anthony?
I think it's a great fight for Anthony because his stock only goes up. Anytime you take a fight against a guy that high profile, it's a no lose for Anthony. And I think striking wise, he can match up good with Anthony. I mean with Manoa.
Yeah.
However, I do think with Manoa, they're probably trying to save him for a European card because he's
Yeah.
a pretty big draw in Europe. So I don't know if they're going to put him in LA.
I feel like they need something on the LA card, though, man. I mean, I'm stoked to see TJ and Cody. But, you know, I don't know. I feel bad every time I say this, but the smaller weight classes don't have the draw, the appeal. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way it is.
I think it's because there's fewer knockouts.
Well, there's more action, but it's just kind of I don't know how I always explain this. The thought, okay, a great fight to me, you have to have like the fear, like, you know, like fear. And when you see a 125-pound man fighting, you're like, you could respect the technique, but the fear of this guy could beat anybody in the world is not there. You know,
Right.
he's just a tremendous pound for pound
Even
fighter.
though they might. Or I feel like, I think also a lot of it is how you sell yourself.
Yeah.
Demetrius Johnson is a great guy, a great
Yeah.
fighter, a role model,
Yeah.
a nice guy. You don't never yourself, which is great, but it doesn't always sell tickets.
Right.
Like the Prince Nassim Hamed, who used to fly in on a fucking on a magic carpet and do backflips. Like
yeah.
people wanted to see that. Even Mayweather.
It's true,
140,
man.
147,
you
but
have a point. But it's also the reason that if you have every weight division fighting on a card and every one of them is a title fight, the main event will always be the bigger weight class.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always the bigger weight class that gets the main slot if it's both title fights, and it's just because of that. The bigger the athlete, the more the draw, and they get paid more too, man. You see these guys. Look at Derek Lewis. You know the most boring fight in heavyweight history that 2 weeks ago when Derek Lewis fought
Ngannou.
Ngannou.
yeah,
you know what they
just
got paid
didn't
for
throw
that
any
bullshit?
punches.
And look, I love both guys. I follow both guys on Instagram or whatnot. But Derek got, I think he got, it was 200 and 200 or something like that. He got,
Ribs.
Jeez.
close to that. It was like, I think he got paid $375,000 for throwing 2 punches and a kick
Wow.
or something. The entire, these guys get paid because you need big guys. They need the draws.
Yeah.
They need the big heavyweights and fights and stuff. And back to the LA card, I feel like when they put the Gustafsson fight on there, they knew that they needed like a big guy or a big name or something to kind of help give it. And when that fell out, now there's two really interesting and fun title fights. But I feel like they need somebody mean, somebody big, something like that.
Also,
you know what I'm saying?
I think also to your point, he's fighting Cejudo, and I was at that first fight, and there was a lot of buzz for that. He just steamrolled Cejudo.
Yeah.
And when a guy fights a guy that he steamrolled, people aren't, unless it's the heavyweight, like Cain Dos Santos 2 or something.
Anything can happen, yeah.
But when he made it look that easy, it's hard for people to get super excited. Cejudo's look better, but better against limited opposition.
Yeah.
He lost to Benavidez. I thought he won that fight. I was at that fight, but I could see how Benavidez won the fight too.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't like he's just been blasting through guys.
Yeah.
And I think that also hurts it. That is crazy about the Ngannou. Although a lot of people are already writing Ngannou off. Look, I honestly think this dude still has a ton of talent, can still be a champion, possibly the heavyweight champion, but he needs to get to a better camp. Not that Extreme Couture is a bad camp; it's a great camp. Same, or Syndicate, great camp.
Yeah.
But the problem is they're bringing in Roy Nelson for him to spar with. They're bringing in other guys, good, but he has to be with young, hungry savages. Mm-hmm. Huge.
Yeah.
Like if he's at, let's say at A.K.A. with Cormier and with Cain Velasquez and Ngannou and those other Russian guys they bring in.
Yeah, I mean, you can only have so many alpha males in one gym, though.
I think they'll definitely give him one more fight. I mean, he gets one, and if he does the same shit again, then I think the jury's in. You know, the verdict's in on this guy.
Yeah.
He lost it.
Yeah, I think he just had a brain fart, man. But I mean, fuck.
For all 3 rounds? Or
all
what was it, 5 rounds?
No,
Three.
3
Yeah,
rounds.
three
But
rounds.
yeah,
It felt
I mean,
like
it's
5.
like you
It
have
did, because nothing was happening.
you have to
it was
pull
so
the
crazy.
trigger at some point.
It was so crazy.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine what the people in the arena felt like. Like, they're like, what the fuck is happening?
And
I would
the
have
build-up was so good, too.
I would have put all my money
Yeah.
that one was going to deliver, man. But it seems like every time you have a heavyweight fight and you're like, don't blink, it's fucking like you jinx it, man.
100%. Also, little Gastelum looked great.
Yeah, dude. Try pronouncing his name correctly.
Oh yeah,
What's
Little
his name?
Gastelum, that dude that fought
He fought
the redheaded Mohawk,
Yeah.
Daiki.
Daikisi.
Yo, that little I don't know his name, but since you said little Gastelum guy, that guy really impressed me because
Yeah.
Daiki, I can't say his name. He's an impressive.
You were on that
striker.
car with him, right?
Yeah, I was in London with him one time. He's a really impressive striker, man, and he's a good fighter. I saw he's been training alongside Dustin Poirier, the all camp, and for little Gastelum to just have his way with him like that was impressive.
Now, do you think people were saying online that he got exposed, one of those flashy striker kind of thing, and now all of a sudden, now do you think he got exposed or?
I think people figured out the thing with him is you got to be on the inside, you got to press the action. If he's moving backwards and you're in range, you have a higher percentage. Because I've seen another guy did that to him a fight or two ago as well. He just stayed in his face.
Drakkar Klose?
And put together, kind of like I don't remember who it was, but he just stayed in his face, stayed in range, throwing combos. Because Daiki's not really a combo striker in the sense of a pocket 2, 3, 4 punches. He's more of a long range sniper, and if you put him in that range where he's got a lesser percentage of landing those, people have a better percentage, and that's what this guy did. This guy just walked him down.
Do you think that's going to happen
combinations.
with MVP or some of these other guys that are?
Man, I'm so curious, bro.
MVP Paul Daly, dude.
Yeah, but Paul Daly, I love Paul Daly, but I don't know, man. Like when he's getting beat up by John Fitch and he's booing him, along with the crowd.
Well, that's
there's
always
something
been Paul
mentally,
Daly's
like wrong with like.
kryptonite. He's kind of, he can be stubborn about certain things. He's opinionated and he has his ways. Because Kenny Johnson was in the corner and he was screaming bloody murder for him to, work to get up, don't, boo the crowd or whatever, like work to get
He
up.
was booing Fitch along with the crowd.
Yeah, and I saw the first round. He did great. He had great takedown
He
defense.
almost stopped him.
And then after the second and third round, eventually you're gonna get taken down. But if you just got to stick with the game.
Now, did you train with him for that fight?
I did. And I've only trained with him once, but I got to say I was surprisingly I enjoyed training with him. I thought he was a really good training partner. We sparred a couple times. He knew exactly. He's a guy that had been in the game. We were technical, and we were hard enough on each other to get good work but not get injured, kind of thing. You could tell right away when somebody knows what they're doing, and so I appreciated it, being that we maybe could have locked horns down the line, but he was cool enough to jump in during my training camp.
Now, when he brings in Kenny for camp, right? Obviously, people tell him, "Listen, you got to work on your wrestling. Work on your, every one of your losses is pretty much due to wrestling."
Yeah.
So they're like, "Hey, I got the guy, Kenny Johnson. He's worked with XYZ. Turn this guy's corner." Now, does Kenny then bring him in and work with him like how does that work?
That's the problem. All that happens now and then. He will bring Kenny in for a week or so in London or wherever he is, but most of the time he just brings Kenny for fight week.
Oh.
So you're putting in maybe 100 reps before the fight during fight week when you should have been putting in.
So what, at that point now, is Kenny flustered and frustrated, or is he like, I'm getting paid, or is he just like, I'll do the best I can when short notice?
Well, I think it's a little bit of everything. Obviously, as a trainer, you want to work with high-level athletes. You want your name to be associated with them. You want to make a little money, but you want to get paid. You want to. I mean, you want to get paid. But you want to get paid at the end of the day. But you want them to perform, is what I meant to say. You want them to perform. Your name is on the line as well. And if he's bringing you in and your reputation is at stake and they're not doing any of your game plan that you would normally do with other fighters, then I don't think it hurts your brand. But yeah, you want.
But no, but the average person.
Eventually, you might have to say no. You might have to say, look, I love working with you and I love flying around the world and representing your brand, our brands together. But if you're not going to do what I'm asking you to do, I'm going to have to sit this one out, man. Like, we need to work together for a couple weeks and incorporate more stuff.
There was this kind of like, not very similar, but there was this hot female comedian, Asian girl, that was working with Eric Myers, right? And who's a really, really funny comic. And Eric Myers is brilliant, but he's got some demons. I'll just end it. We'll just end it at that, right? So Eric so she hires me, and she's like, hey, I want you to help me write jokes. So I sit down with her at a coffee place. This girl's like a 10, like a Maxim model. Like I'm not bringing her to my place. I like know my wife. No, sometimes I bring people over here to work with them.
Yeah.
It was not going to go well with the wife on that situation, right? So I meet her at a coffee place, and we're sitting there, and not that I would do anything, but I just you don't even the fucking headache, long story short.
He does a lot of things of a guilty man, even though he's not guilty.
I'm going through her jokes. I'm like, okay, this joke. Why do you think this is funny? And she's like, I don't know. Eric wrote it. I go, okay, so you don't know what you're saying. And then like she was expecting like me to walk around and like go to comedy shows with her and write her act for her. And I was like, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's like no. I'm not trying to fuck you.
I got paid, but I was not trying to fuck. No.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to fuck you. If I were trying to fuck you, I would follow you around all night. Coach you all night. We'd get to know each other. Be like, let's just go back to my place. We'll do a little blow. Keep working on it. But we're not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to just help you with your jokes and go home to my wife. I get it.
But even first of all, if the girl hires me to tell her jokes, I'm not trying to fuck her. I could separate it. You have to be a good.
Sure.
teacher.
Yeah.
Well, then you do a little blow. And
It's all out the window, man. It's all out the window.
But people just. Sometimes people are funny. They just think that you can work magic or that you're going to do all the work for them.
Yeah.
I don't think that happened with Paul Bradley. But look, if you want to hire Kenny Johnson as your coach, do a fucking camp with Kenny Johnson.
Yeah.
Spend 3 months with the guy. Let him actually help you.
you have to put a certain amount. Now and then you see guys, Francis Ngannou is one of them, that I think he learned the Kimura during warm-ups in his second UFC fight, and he went and Kimured somebody. Now and then it happens, but it's fucking a small percentage.
It's like a new toy you can't wait to play with.
Right, you're like, I just
look what I
learned the
just
heel
learned.
hook.
Oh, it fucking works.
Somebody showed me a trick in a hotel. I went for it. Now and then it works, man. But if you're fighting at the highest level and you want to be consistent, you have to be putting in the reps. So I'm a numbers guy when it comes to fighting. I'm not a numbers guy with other shit, but you're going to drill something, you need to put in 25 to 100 reps a day, daily, putting in 1,000 reps a week after week. That's how you become a black belt at one position, one move, one course of action that you can take during the fight. You can't just be a fucking white belt at everything or think you're going to learn something one day before the fight.
Let me ask you something. Okay, so you went through that whole camp. You put in all that work.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking like 10, 12 hours a day working out, right? And doing all this.
At
Not
least
10 to 12 hours.
Yeah,
Five.
but nine sessions a week, 9 to 10 sessions a week.
God damn. Okay,
Yeah.
so you do all that work, and then the injury. Now, do you make the decision, or does the coach make? Who makes the decision that you're not going to fight?
I waited a week. I was trying to wait it out.
Right, you're hoping this thing just...
Hoping.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I'm trying to, like, cut weight and those things that you do within 2 weeks of the fight. And then I just knew. I mean, this sounds dumb, but I got up in the middle of the night and I saw a roach, and I went to swat it with a fly swatter, and my fucking arm was on fire.
Oh, my God.
I can't even kill a roach. How am I going to fight this guy? You know what I'm saying?
So you owe that roach a thank you card.
Exactly. That was literally...
Was it a
when the
roach or
bell
was it
went
John
off.
Dodson?
Yeah. Turns out he was in town. Literally, the light bulb went off, and
It's like, not getting better, can't do it.
The next day, I said, "Fuck!" I took a little bit of a swing at a roach, and it hurt. So, yeah. Then you go through the process, you email the UFC and let them know. And I was kind of nervous, man, because the UFC doesn't always take kindly to getting injured. It's not our fault. It's the nature of the sport that we're in. But
you're putting them out.
Kind of jeopardizing things with them. But it seemed like they were cool with me. But the course of action they took then was just go and get the MRI and stuff.
Okay, so you win, but I mean, making that decision had to be hard.
It sucks.
Right?
Because not only are you, like you said, I went through an 8 or 10 week camp, and then all my plans and stuff, but man, watching the fight and knowing that, like, nothing's guaranteed, but watching the fight, I felt very confident I was meant to win that night. Or if we would have fought, I would have won that night. And then knowing my style and his style, and there was 9 decisions on the card, if I did not finish him, very good opportunity that I was going to get the bonus. So basically, I just lost out in a bunch of fucking money.
And you just watched her walk out the door.
Yeah, but you started the modeling, right?
Yeah.
Versace money.
Yeah.
But I mean, no,
Yeah.
listen, that comes
No, it's good. It's good. I'm
You
not
got the
complaining
coaching
about
money?
it. But it's just like when you lose out on a big payday, man. It's you know.
No, that happens a lot in our job too. I mean,
Plus,
when
you have
you're up
19
for-
old cars, too.
When you're up for a big job, a big, a big commercial, a big TV show, and it's you're in the, they tell you it's between you and this other guy, blah blah blah, and then you don't get it. It's the same thing. You're watching $50,000 walk out the door.
And you've already spent the money in your head.
In your mind, you spent it. Oh, in your mind, you're like...
Or you've thought about the
this.
purchases, the investments you're going to make.
Absolutely,
Same
that's
thing
what I'm saying. You've got it all parsed out. You know exactly what you're going to do, and then it's just like... whew.
If you're on a show, and like, what is it? Sometimes your show has to be on for like 2 or 3 years before it gets syndicated or
No,
something.
absolutely, you got to make 100 episodes.
Things like that. You know what I mean? I had a friend that just who's a writer, just missed out on that, and his show was supposed to go into syndication, and we were talking all kinds of stuff, and then they cut it last minute, and he was devastated, man.
Yeah.
And then I kind of felt bad. I was like, well, I'm going fight, and I'll just make my money, and then the same thing happened to me, man. I lost out on my fight, and it's like that's life. It's up and down, and I say it. I remind myself all the time. You can't dwell on what's out of your hands. You can only fucking worry about what's in your control, and this shit's out of your control. But fuck, it sucks to watch money slip away, especially when it would have been.
It really does, man.
Not
It's
an
tough.
easy payday, not at all. Not an easy payday. Don't quote me on that. But the fight that I watched was sloppy, and neither guy took a lot of damage. But it kind of the sloppiness made it a fun fight. Or it wasn't one of those fights where guys are leaving there with broken bones, concussions, stitches, broken nose. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the fights I normally get in, where I'm concussed, broken foot, broken hand. Every fight I'm in. That fight, I'm like, fuck, I would have left that fight with just a busted lip and a black eye and 150 G's in my pocket. Fuck.
You've never
know what
left
I'm
any
saying?
fight you've ever had with a busted lip and a black eye.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Come on, no, but including this one. Every one of your fights is
I know,
fucking Rocky
and like,
IV.
I just, that's all I ever pray. I pray to win the fight, get the bonus, and then not be, like, hurt, you know? And
it was meant for something better,
both
man.
guys walked away pretty much unscathed. And, yeah, I felt like I let that one get away, but that's the fight game.
It was you talking about repetition. It's funny because, like, when I coach the kids, I always tell them, hundreds of single legs, hundreds of double legs.
Yeah.
But, I don't want to burn them out, and I feel like I don't want to make them bored. So I'm like, hey, listen, do 20 of these moves, and I'll teach you a top secret move that no one knows. And then I'll show them some kind of crazy Japanese arm throw or, like, cement mixer, which they get on one time because they're excited about it. The other ones, they can't get it.
Right.
But this one, like, and that's all they want to do now. So then I have to be careful. So I got to be like, listen, only do this when you're down 14-0, and or when or when you hear me yell out, and then I'll be like, "What's your girlfriend's name?" And someone, his girl's different name was Cactus. I go, "All right, when you hear me yell out Cactus, try that move."
It's a good code word.
Yeah, Cactus.
Yeah.
Have you dated a girl named Cactus?
Yeah.
You have?
No.
Oh.
I said, yeah, just, I don't know why. But
By the way, you know how many people ask me all the time about you, like, to just meet you? They go, "Is Alan Jouban faithful to his wife?" And I'm always like,
Really?
"Yeah."
People ask that
ask
question?
me, and I go,
I'm
"Yeah."
gonna Google that. I
And
wonder if
then-
people Google that.
And then I go, "Why?" They're like, "Man, you know how much pussy that guy could get?" Now, do you tell your wife that or no?
Or is
All
it
the
just
time.
understood?
Could you imagine? You know what's funny?
All the time.
I got my
If you
truck.
realize.
I've been building that old truck for a while, and I've just been building it because I've always wanted a badass classic truck. More of just a guy thing. I have never once in my life thought about like, this is a pussy getter. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? It's
right.
just like,
Yeah.
I want a cool guy truck. I never had a cool car. And driving my truck for the weekend, it's back in the shop. It needs to be all these adjustments done. But I had it for the weekend just to kind of see what adjustments are needed. And 90% of the people that stopped me or just winked or honked were women. It was women, and I thought it was going to be the other way around. I thought guys were going to be appreciating dope truck, man, sick
It was
truck.
women?
What's under the
Oh,
hood.
listen, let me tell you, I have
women
no
were eating it
idea
up,
what
bro.
that's
And maybe I'm just stupid, but I didn't realize that girls.
It's the combo. The truck
Would
brought their
appreciate-
eyes to you.
you know what I'm saying?
And then they saw the driver. And it was like,
Maybe so, man. But I didn't. I guess
Like,
like
do you ever get stopped by women on the highway?
I've gotten screamed at by one woman on the highway.
I've gotten screamed at.
What did you say?
She's like, woo! BMW Z4, Ratatouille, woo! That was it. She yelled that she described my car.
Nice. There you go.
Do you have a cool car? Or?
I mean, it's a
Yeah.
BMW
Yeah,
Z4.
he has a nice
I mean,
car.
it's
Okay,
fine.
okay. So like, see, I've always had a normal car, and this truck, it's a classic truck. It's not a Lamborghini or anything, but it's a cool car, at least in my mind. But I thought, like I said, the dudes would appreciate it
See,
more.
right.
But
It's
the girls.
again, the truck brought them to look, and then they saw you, and
Right.
then see. Whereas they look at my car, then they see me, and they're like, "Of course he does."
Wow. So,
Or
Demi.
he needs the fucking car.
So,
Make up for the rest of that shit.
by the way, breaking news: Demi Lovato suffered a heroin overdose.
What?
No
Just got
way.
rushed to the hospital.
But really, you just saw that?
Yeah, on TMZ. Demi Lovato. Yeah, I hope she's
Wow.
okay. She's a big fight
A
fan.
heroin.
Heroin?
Yeah.
Jeez, who knew?
What
man?
the hell?
You know what you're going to find out is that it started with medication. It started with prescription pills.
Oxycontin.
Oxycontin. Someone was like, well, here,
Narco.
just take this.
She's hosting a show right now, right? Isn't she like one of these dance shows or something? Or singing? No.
Is she?
I thought I saw her on one of these shows recently. I don't know. There's so many shows out, but
She does heroin
Yeah.
and her music still sucks?
Oh, come on. To just,
sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. So, Stefan Struve. Let's talk about Stefan
My
Struve.
boy, sweet Struve. What happened, my brother?
Look, I like Stefan Struve, but
He was very tan for Stefan.
he put on Instagram. He's got to take some time away from fighting and really look
He did,
look
yeah.
back and see if this is what he wants to keep doing and yada yada.
Did you
yada.
think he looked uninspired? I thought he looked a little uninspired.
I just think that guy's taken so many knockouts. I mean, by Mark Hunt and Overeem and
Yeah.
Roy Nelson. I mean, and he's
Travis Brown.
but he's beaten guys like the former champion. I mean,
He
Steve
got his
Miocic.
chin opened up like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
That cut.
I
And
didn't
of course,
see the end of that fight. How did that cut occur? What did that? What,
elbow to the face. He
An
had him
elbow?
down and just bang right in the jaw.
Yeah, it
it was
was-
brutal.
Yeah.
And then they're spreading it open to see how bad it is.
Oh, really?
And of course, that's right when my fiance looks at the screen.
So
Wow.
and then what
And
happened?
she can't stand. She normally doesn't look at the screen because she can't stand the blood and the cuts. And of course, they open up the cut, and right when she looks, I'm like, "Don't look! It's like too late."
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah,
And that one went decision as well.
Yeah, but Stefan just kept getting taken down. His takedown defense was just not there. He was
Yeah.
taken down by like a Brazilian or who.
Marcin
And,
Tibura.
and
Marcin
he was
Tibura.
wearing some short choice that was questionable.
The shorts.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
but he
lot
wears
of-
pants in those shorts.
lot of
though.
upper lip shots.
Imagine
It
being
was
that
like,
tall.
you were seeing a lot more than you were like, that's a lot.
Really?
Look at
Man, I
what
can't
looks
remember
there.
the fight for some reason. I
I mean, he could teabag someone standing up. That guy.
Yeah, he's tall as shit.
Now, what would you do if you were that tall? What would your life be like?
I wouldn't be a comedian. I would just be tall.
That's it.
I would just walk around going, I don't need to be funny. Look at me, I'm fucking tall.
Yeah, I give him a lot of credit, but off his back, I thought he was gonna hit a triangle or something, but he wasn't. He just-
When he first came in the UFC, he kind of was like had a guard game. I think he submitted
a lot of people.
the guy from Louisiana who dates Rose Namajunas.
Pat Barry.
Pat Barry. I think
he beat Sean McCorkle.
You know,
Yeah.
the thing is, he's got those legs, man, and they're a mile long, and they always work, but then he stops using them.
yeah,
the reach.
a jab. A
And
lot
that's
of
what I'm saying.
His reach. I mean,
He
he
doesn't-
gets knocked out by Mark Hunt. I
Yeah.
mean, Mark Hunt is like.
I know. He was doing it in that fight. He was, I mean, the legs were there. Whenever he used the kicks, they would hit, and they would just stop and let the guy get inside him. And I was like, what are you doing? Keep kicking this motherfucker.
It's tough to like. A lot of people pick on him about those things that he doesn't utilize his height and his reach.
Yeah,
and
his
jab
reach.
And but it's the thing that jumps off the page when you see a 7 foot tall fighter with like a a Dutch kickboxing background
Yeah.
that like you think would know distance and range to perfection, and he doesn't utilize it in his fights. It's like
He did have a good tan, though. I gave him points for that.
Yeah.
He did not look like a line of coke for once.
man. This would be the second time that he takes a step back from the sport too. Didn't he have to take like 3 years off or 2 years off from like a heart condition? a couple years back?
Yeah.
Remember
I remember he almost had a fight, and then he kind of like.
Backed out, found out he had a
Yeah.
heart condition.
It was a bummer. I was pulling for that sweet, sweet Struve.
I remember one time he was like Adam, I'm in the hospital.
You could do some Bruce Buffer shit, man. got a good roll. Got a good.
I remember one time he was in the hospital, and he's like, I just got my jaw wired, and they will put me on meds. Please make me laugh. And I was like sending him funny videos.
I didn't think that would hurt his jaw.
No,
I would have been like, stop it.
but I was like honored. I was like kind of touched that like he was.
You know,
reaching
I
out to me.
think Bruce Buffer wishes he had a deeper voice like his brother.
Really.
Because he does a lot of screaming, which you don't get a lot of in announcering.
Well, they're half brothers, right?
Yeah, they're half brothers.
Yeah.
Did you see when he winked to the fighter? The fighter, like when they were announcing the decision, he like looked back at him and like
You
winked.
stole that from me.
Were you about to say that?
No, well, no, I Instagrammed it or whatever. Did you see that on your own?
No, I saw that live.
I mean, you stole it. If it happened, how do you steal it from you?
Because I'm the only one that sees shit like that. I'm always looking at the crowd and stuff and like a little subtlety. Yeah, but I saw that. I was good that you caught that.
That was cool.
Because I thought it was a clear decision as well. And when they said, you could tell when it's a split decision when they said this judge had it.
Yeah. It's like
And then one fighter's fucking having a shit storm. He keeps looking back at Bruce like, "What the? Are you fucking serious?" And then right before he says the last one, he's
He
like,
gives him the
"And
old winker,
Judge
like,
agreed,"
yeah,
and
don't
he's
worry,
like,
pal.
and I'm like, okay, give him a little reassurance there. Yeah.
Now, you tweeted to Emil Meek about his fight.
Yeah,
that
man.
You were willing to stand and trade with him. Did Emil get back to you?
I forgot about that. I don't know. I don't
That'd be a
mean
good-ass
to like
fight.
kick guys when they're down. And he's he didn't get knocked out or anything. It was just kind of he's a guy that came on the scene pretty fast. He was kind of like this Viking destroyer guy and suffered 2 losses in a row. I was thinking, you know what? If he wins this fight, I was watching it thinking, fuck, I think I match up well against this guy. We're both exciting fighters. I'll stand and bang with him. I think my skills. I would take my skill set over his skill set. He's dangerous, but I think it makes for. Hey, I'm in the game to make exciting fights and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I can't always play it safe. So I was like, fuck it, man. This would be a good fight.
Have you
And
ever played it safe?
And then,
You're like,
I know.
Do you shave your legs for fights?
What's that?
Do you shave your legs?
No, I know. And I got
go in
hairy ass
full hairy
legs.
leg, huh?
I go full hairy, man. And I used to tape them back in the day, and that shit used to hurt like hell.
Well, I was just wondering if he'd gotten so close to the fight that he'd already started shaving his legs.
Yeah.
Nothing was better than when he like called out Fashion Week. He's like, come on.
I'll bring the
I'll bring the Fashion Week down here. Or like,
I'll bring the fashion
Oh,
industry.
yeah, that's right.
I own this town.
that was my
I had done like one job for Cosmo Girl.
that was my favorite.
This is my fucking town.
I would just love to see Fashion Week like
Yeah.
sitting in like their own
Totally doing it.
section.
Yeah.
And they were these
In all
are
their outfits, too. Have them wear actual fashion to a UFC fight like crazy ass.
these are Alan's fans. They have
Right.
like fucking like swans around their heads.
Totally. Lady Gaga's here tonight. Lady Gaga's here with her.
I would do a
opera.
red carpet walkout. It would be fucking
Leon
yeah,
Talley from Vogue.
Well, you listen, Alan.
Look at you,
listen,
Hey, right? Hey, listen, I'm
Wow.
not an idiot. I know a little bit
Alan,
about
you are
it.
getting up
Tally.
there in age, buddy. And listen, sexual performance issues are more common than you
So
think.
smooth.
Jesus, these sponsors.
Over 25% of new ED cases are guys under the age of 40. 40% of men by age 40 struggle from not being able to get and maintain an erection. I know Greg has that problem all the time. And even the world's greatest actor, like Greg, can't fake one. And why do guys turn to weird solutions when they can turn to medicine and science? Go to forhims.com. It's a one-stop shop for hair loss, which I need, skincare, and sexual wellness for men. Thanks to science, ED can be optional. They connect you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat ED. Well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you combat ED. I'm telling you, one ED pill with a V came off a patent on December 11th. Game changer. There's no waiting room. How much does the waiting room suck? No awkward doctor visits. Ugh. No lines. Save hours by going to forhims.com. It is so easy. It is hard made easy. It is sexual without the
No
dysfunction.
pun. No pun, guys.
Yes, just try Forhims today for just $5. We'll get you started for just $5 while supplies last. The website for full details. This would cost hundreds into a pharmacy. Forhims.com/MMA Roasted. That's FORHIMS.com/MMA Roast ED. Forhims.com/MMA Roasted. Now, did you watch any of the PFL fights, by the way?
Wait. Let's go back to Hims for Hims. I
Yeah.
thought I've seen the commercials. That's a hair loss one. They do erectile dysfunction as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
haven't
like a
seen commercials
combination
for it.
therapy that kind of treats everything at once.
The hair and the
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, because you finally get your hair back, and then chicks like you, so you can just get the boner
And you
pills.
get a
You
better
get the
boner.
boner, yeah.
Fuck.
Have you ever taken a
Win-win.
Viagra or no?
In Mexico one time.
Really?
Man, I was senior trip Cancun. We went and we robbed a pharmacy. I say rob, not like gunpoint, but we were like, hey, can we get that stuff over there? And then when they walked, we just jumped over the cabinet, grabbed all the steroids and Viagras and pain muscle relaxers, and then we go back to the hotel room and we were like, I remember we were just like in the movie. I remember in the Rocky movie, Drago. They shoot him in the leg with steroids. So I thought that's how you did it. And so I remember I was sitting on the toilet and I took a bunch of Viagra and painkillers and I shot myself in the leg with some tests or some shit that I took from the cabinet. And that was my Cancun trip. But
Wait, no, did you have any girls? to do
What
it
happened?
with?
There was like, were you just sitting there sweating for days?
right, and
What
then
the fuck
I think I
happened?
passed out. I didn't even
With a
get to-
boner
get to,
and
with
fucking
a
all
boner. I didn't
jacked
get to. Yeah, I didn't get to utilize all the stuff that I'd taken. And
Let me tell you something. Youth is to be survived.
yeah,
Ah, man.
That was
If you
17-year-old
survive
Alan.
youth, man, that's all you can expect. Because when you think about the dumbass shit you do, thinking you're indestructible, just like, it's amazing that any of us survive.
yeah.
You know?
But you still do that shit now.
Well, I know what I'm doing. I got the dosage down right.
All right, so we are calling Austin Vanderford, who is also dating Paige VanZant. They're engaged. They have
Let me
a,
smell your
Can you turn it a little bit louder, Adam?
sure, no problem. What?
Yo Romero versus Bohadashinya just booked.
Ooh, that's a good fight.
Come on,
Oh, in
dude.
New York too. Wow.
Ooh, that's a good fight. I think.
And they also just put Weidman and Luke Rockhold back on that card.
Hello, is Austin there?
Hey, yeah, he's actually just he's over his workout. Would it be okay to do it in like 10 minutes?
Is this Paige VanZant?
Yeah, it is.
Hey, you're on the MMA Roasted Podcast. It's me, Alan Jouban.
Hey,
How are you doing?
awesome. I'm doing good. Yeah, just hanging out and watching the workout.
Are you in like a wind tunnel or something, or what?
I'm in my Jeep.
You're what?
In my Jeep.
Oh, you're in your Jeep. Nice. Is there any way you could close the windows so we could talk to you?
It's a Jeep.
Well, there's no windows on it or a top.
Oh, no,
Could you
that
pull
makes
over
sense.
and-
That makes sense. So, how's everything going, Paige?
Everything's going good for me right now. Just healing up. I just had surgery, so just trying to take it easy and recover my arm this time.
Oh, totally. Now, do you have a fight lined up?
Gosh, no, I wish. I gotta see if this arm surgery works first, and then I'm thinking I'll probably be able to fight at the end of the year.
Oh, nice. Anybody you want to fight in particular?
Not really. I feel like the 125 division is so wide open that I'll fight anybody they put in front of me. So.
Yeah. Now, how's the training going over there in Oregon?
In Oregon, it's awesome. The training is super great here. We have a really good camp. We have quite a few people that just got onto the contender series or are making it to the UFC. And then we have Tim Sunny, which is awesome to train with him.
Do you miss Team Alpha Male?
Do I miss Team Alpha Male? You know, I loved the dynamic there. It was such a room full of amazing people. But Oregon is home for me, so it was just, I miss being home, just being around my family. And, yeah, miss being home.
Nice. And then I saw recently you tweeted out that you were something about Dancing with the Stars. Maybe you're going to go back on, or is there something we should all know about?
No, there's no news there other than the fact that I want to be on it. It's the Overdue Redemption series. I would love if they could bring me back because I feel like, I got second place. I was super close to getting first, and I would love to go back on there and redeem myself for not taking it.
Now, how did you lose that? You were a professional dancer. You're hot. You're an athlete. How did you not win that? That's ridiculous.
I don't know how. It happens. Niall DeMarco, the guy who won, had a ton of fans, which is awesome. And I feel like I've built my fan base up a ton since I was on the show, too. So I have way more people that would vote for me being on it.
Yeah. Now, is your fiance there?
What was that?
Is Austin around?
Yes, he is. We I'm almost there, so I'll get him in 1 second.
Okay, we can still keep talking to you. So now, what is it about Austin? Because I know that you know, a couple other guys that they were taking their shot. They all liked you. They were all trying to date you, but you stuck with this guy. What is it about him?
Repeat that one more time.
How come you like this guy? There were so many guys out there that were putting in their slips to like, I want to be Paige VanZant's boyfriend, but this guy won. How that happen?
He was pretty special. So yeah, to the gym, but hey, here he is.
Hey, Adam.
Hey, what's up, buddy? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Look at that, man. You got a little extra credit there, huh?
Extra? Yeah. Well, I didn't expect that. I didn't realize that she had your phone. That's a little suspect. But
yeah. No, we just finished up and we were just driving through. So
nice.
Yeah.
Now you guys are a very cute couple. I think that you pissed off a lot of people though when she started posting the pictures of you in your jeans. It seems like a lot of boners went down.
Yeah, I know. That was one of those ones, too, for me where I was like, babe, I don't know if you should post that, but it is what it is, man, so.
No, like, I know how, because back in the day, they used to have, like, burlesque shows where they would get all these girls dancing and pasties and nipple rings, and then they would throw in a comic about 40 minutes in to be, like, the cooler, to make everyone's erections go down and everyone will get really mad. I feel like you're the cooler of her Instagram page.
That's hilarious, man. That's so funny. Yeah, I am. I'm the cooler.
Yeah, but it's okay, man.
So
Look,
funny.
man, enjoy your role. Now, by the way, great fight last week. You were super hurt in the first. You came back, showed an amazing heart, exceptional skill. Why didn't you get the contract? That was bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It sucks, but at the end of the day, my main goal and focus for every fight is to go out and get a win, and everything else will fall as it falls. And unfortunately, it just didn't go my way that night. But I think there's a lot of good to come from it, and I'm excited to keep going and keep fighting. And I'm ready to fight now. And if the UFC called me up for next week, I'd be ready. And so, I'm just staying ready now.
Now, was that the most you've ever been hurt in your life?
No, not in my life. Actually, not a lot of people know this, but when I was in high school, I got all my teeth knocked out and my nose broke by a guy with brass knuckles. I got popped like 3 times in the face and crushed all my teeth, and that's probably the most hurt I've been in my life. But
wow,
I wasn't too bad. He definitely landed a great shot, but nothing on the ground really landed or anything, and we were just kind of in a scramble. He got in the mount, and I worked off the cage, and yeah.
Did you grow up in 8 Mile? Why is there a guy with brass knuckles?
Yeah, I grew up. No, the funny thing is, I grew up in Alaska, man, and you wouldn't ever think anything like that would happen. But I was in a shitty part of Anchorage in the city, and just wrong place, wrong time.
Fuck. Now, I was asking Paige, what is it about you? Because I know, like, all these guys like her. She's a beautiful girl. She's a star. You come in and you swooped her. How did this happen? Because I know there are a lot of guys out there that would like to be in your shoes, but also, there's a hot girl at the gym that they like. What's your step-by-step tutorial on how to land a woman like Paige VanZant?
I'm well endowed.
Wow.
There it is.
You know what, man? I just came
got a
in
big dick. I just got a big dick.
we started training together, and it was, I guess, funny and cliche as it is, it was love at first sight, and yeah, it's been a wrap ever since.
But okay, so you're training with her. You're not obviously. Are you sparring with her? Are you rolling with her? Are you holding pads for her?
Oh yeah, I mean we do everything together.
No, but back when you first got her,
obviously training and sparring, we're not going 100%, but we give each other looks and all that, and we help each other out. And I'm a firm believer that you can get better from anybody. Working with her, I work on an opponent who's faster than me, more elusive, and all that. And then with her, for me, or for me, for her, or whatever, you know, I'm a bigger and probably gonna hit a little harder than most of the girls she's gonna fight, and yeah, so we do everything together, and it's a cool dynamic, and it's a lot of fun, and yeah.
Now, no, but when you first start training with her, you're in the gym with her, you give her a look,
Yeah.
you smile, she gives you a look and smiles back. Like, how long do you wait to make your move?
So the funny thing about this, I was getting a lot of shit on Instagram over wearing socks and sandals. And that was one of the things she noticed that she thought was cute or whatever. You know, I was walking around with socks and flip-flops and because that's kind of an Alaska thing, you know, you get done fishing, you take your boots off and you put your flip-flops on with socks, and yeah, so I guess that's what caught her eye. So for any of the guys out there wondering, you know, start wearing socks and flip-flops.
So does she come up to you and she's like, "Hey, nice flop and flip-flop, dork," right? And then you're like, "Oh, I'm from Alaska," and then after that, do you ask her out on a date, or does she ask you out on a date?
Yeah, so at the time, I was living in Southern Oregon. I was like 5 hours away, and I was getting up at like 4 a.m. to drive to make it to a 9 o'clock practice just so I could see her for, you know, a couple minutes or whatever.
Wow.
And yeah, I think our first date, I asked if she wanted to go paddle boarding or something like that, and took my shirt off, and she liked what she saw underneath, and yeah.
It's like the worst Twilight episode I've ever heard.
He's got man. This guy's got to figure it out. He's playing to his strengths.
It worked. Now the guy that you fought was a team alpha male, and that was Paige's old gym.
Yeah.
That was Paige's old gym. Was there animosity there? Was there an underlying tone of like, I mean, talk to me about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think more so from their side. There wasn't really any from me. For me, it was just another opponent, but I mean, at the end of the day, I wanted to beat the shit out of him, regardless of what team he was on. But yeah, I think they had a little animosity. I think that they were a little hurt about Paige leaving and yada yada yada, all that stuff. So, you know, I respected my opponent, and I respect the gym for their talent and their skills and whatnot, but that's about as far as I go.
But you were the guy that stole their girl. I could see this is like there's a lot of buildup here. But I honestly think that, like, you being Paige VanZant's boyfriend might have hurt you in getting the contract. For some reason, they might have been like, you know what, we're gonna make him work a little harder because it might look like we're giving preferential treatment. You think that's kind of that's a possibility?
I mean, that could be some people's philosophy or idea or whatever that I didn't get it because of that. But and who knows? I mean, no one else except for Dana and Sean Shelby and Mick know what the real answer is, because they're the only ones who are in that room. But you know, I feel, in my opinion, that, you know, I didn't think it was my skill or my heart that didn't get me the contract. So
yeah,
I don't know. You know, I'm a young fighter still in my career. I've only been professional for a year and a half, and maybe they want some more experience or whatever. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm just gonna be prepared and ready, and I feel like I'm ready for that jump and for that next step, and I want to compete with the best in the world, and I want to be the best in the world. So,
well, I mean, as far as wrestling goes,
whatever best opportunity comes, I'm going to take it.
As far as wrestling goes, you were an NAIA NCAA champion, which is junior college, #1 in the country, which is sometimes even they have amazing wrestlers there. How do you think you would have done in the Division I?
I felt like I would have done good. I've competed against a lot of the Division I athletes, and I always did well, held my own, and wrestling's one of those harder sports to kind of break off, like you said, division-wise, because it is such an individual sport. There's a lot of really great wrestlers who didn't have the grades, or maybe got in trouble and had to go to an NAIA school or junior college, or, you know, all that. And it doesn't mean they weren't great wrestlers. They just, you know, one of those situations. So I felt like I would have competed and done well. And if I would have been in a room a Division I room, I feel like I still could have competed for a national title there too.
I agree. Now, I do got to say, when you made your call out to Dana White, you were like, Dana White, I'm a national champion, undefeated. I'm Paige VanZant's man, right? That kind of ruffled. People were like, oh, my God. Do you look back and be like, maybe I shouldn't have went that way? Were you laughing when you wrote that? Do you take that seriously? Or do you, because it was a little bit like, really?
Yeah, so Paige does a good bit of my social media stuff, so, she takes care of a lot of that and my tweets and all that. And that actually came from her. So, but I'm not going to – people can say whatever they want to say. And when at the end of the day, they're going to match up with me, and it's going to be me and my opponent in the cage, and and I'm going to handle business.
So she wrote that? Oh, that is hilarious. All right. Now I give you a lot. Okay. I take back everything I tweeted about you then. Okay, that's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
That's hysterical. Now, you guys, you got engaged quick. When's the wedding?
The wedding is September 29th.
Wow. So they scheduled jump right to
Now,
it.
I mean, you guys are young. Are people telling you that you're crazy and to wait? Or are people saying go for it? Or are you like, I'm not going to get anything better than this?
Oh, that is so funny. Hey, people are going to say what they're going to say, but we have a strong bond, and we know that we love each other and that we're ready. And, anytime, there's no real right time or whatever. We live together and we enjoy each other so much, and we're both really excited.
Now, is it as cute as it is on Instagram, where you guys are just like dancing during the day and holding hands and picking flowers, or is it just like crazy fights? I mean, what's going on there? Tell us the truth.
The truth, we have such a great relationship. We rarely ever fight. I mean, how can you fight when all day you're training and getting out all this aggression?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're so exhausted that there's not really any time or like energy spent on fighting with each other. So, what you see on Instagram is pretty much what it is, man.
Greg, do you have any questions for this Austin fellow? Seems like a nice guy.
No, I think you're great. The thing is like, when you know. These guys know.
Yeah.
And I think that's great.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, how did you do it? Listen, that's the way life is. And congratulations, dude. And you guys go for it, man.
Are you guys going to get matching tattoos?
Oh yeah, we'll do all that stuff, man. We'll get the matching tattoos. We'll do it all. Yeah. Hey, Greg, like you said, man, when you know, and we definitely know, and we're so happy and
now
excited, and yeah.
Now she posted a picture. She's holding pancakes, and she's like, "Look at my new boobs. I'm so happy about them." Was that something that you were like, "Good job, babe," or did you like, "I don't care what you do," or like how did that come about?
The birthday boobs. My birthday boobs. What are we talking about here? Where are we?
No, she posted on Instagram a picture
sure.
of her new boobs. Like she had implants.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, wait, those were for you for your birthday?"
Yeah, those are our birthday gifts to me, and yeah.
Nice.
Wow, that
is the gift that keeps on giving.
That's amazing. Now, did you pay for those birthday gifts?
But her body is for her to talk about, and I'm not gonna really go there.
Good man, that's right.
But that was your birthday boobs. Holy shit, that's amazing.
Listen,
I never had birthday boobs.
I had birthday boobs, but they were my own boobs.
Alan, do you ever have birthday
fat
boobs?
kid.
No.
Alan, do you have any questions for this young gentleman?
No, I just been enjoying. What's up, man? It's Alan. We actually I think we all have the same representation, though. Kyle and Matthew over at Janus. Doesn't he represent you, Austin?
Oh, right on.
Yeah. He's mentioned you a couple times, man. He always had real good stuff to say about you and your wrestling and your fighting
Alan.
and all, man. Yeah. What's up, man?
Alan Jouban.
Oh, Alan, yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah, right on, man. Yeah, good to meet you. Or good to say hi to you.
Yeah, you too, man. Hopefully you can make it down to L.A. He mentioned a couple times that maybe if you guys came down or something, you can come get some sessions in a muscle farm or whatnot. So, Yeah, hopefully that works out one day, man. Be good training partners.
Now, do you have any advice for this young gentleman?
absolutely.
Any advice and what category?
Well, number one, he's getting married. I mean, you have a hot
you've
wife.
been a married guy. For
You're a
while
married
now,
guy. As far as getting into the UFC and fighting and everything else.
I'm not really an advice giver. I don't think I'm in a position to do that. He knows what he's doing. He's a fighter,
Weendawg,
he's a
any advice
wrestler.
for Austin?
Oh, this will be.
Yeah, this should be good. This should be real good
You know,
advice.
just keep training, dude. I'm sure you're gonna make it someday, dude. That's it, man.
Hey, well,
You know what the thing is?
I'm
You're
glad
from
I-
Alaska, so you grew up in Alaska, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Alaska.
Alaska, because I played up there. I performed in Alaska many times. It seems to me you have one of two paths in Alaska. Because the winter's so long, you either become an alcoholic or a gym rat.
Yeah.
It seems like those are the two choices.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that right?
That's true. That's true.
Hey, that's basically it's either a gym rat or a fisherman. My brother is a crab fisherman in Alaska. He was on the Deadliest Catch a few seasons.
Oh, nice.
And did all that. So he and I kind of went different paths.
But you went to the gym, you're
Well,
working out.
You have the deadliest catch as well. But
Yeah.
well, listen, Austin, man. Yeah, you're a great fighter. You're a great guy. Obviously treating her Paige very, very right. She seems happier than she's ever been. Keep up the good work, man. I'm happy for both you guys. It's really sweet what you guys have, man, and nothing but love for you, man.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. And, good to talk to you guys all.
Anytime. Take care, brother.
Take care, man.
Take it easy, brother.
All right. Later.
All right, that was Austin Vanderford.
Y'all believe him or what about the tweet?
About that she's tweeting?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now it makes total sense.
That's funny. That's funny that she answered the phone and she does a lot of the social media.
Yeah, but he got the birthday.
But that's
book.
trust.
Yeah.
That's trust. That's when you hand your lady your phone,
Yeah.
give her the password. That's
Yeah.
trust right there.
Well, me and my wife, we have shared locations. I turned it on by accident, and now she and now she
And now you can't turn it
can never
off.
turn it off. She knows.
Then it'd be
something-
sneaky if you
Yeah.
turned it off.
Exactly.
Oh, you mean she could track you, that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It tells
that's
you where you
crazy.
are. It tells you, like, if you go to a strip club, it says Spearmint Rhino. Like, it knows exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
but
you
it's
know
okay.
what? Maybe
Well, you don't really go to those
it's
places.
the best thing for you.
I have nothing to worry about. Like, I'm
Right.
working. I'm an open
But
book.
then it keeps you aligned. It keeps you, even if you had that off day and you were going to make that bad decision.
yeah.
You know, the tracking
Or I
device
could
is
turn my-
always on.
Or I could just turn my phone off. But
Battery
yeah.
died.
So I like that guy.
That kid, he's the only guy that could say, I want to, he said, I want to beat his ass, but it still sounded like he was smiling. Like he was still happy, like, yeah, I want to beat his ass.
I hope
Like,
she doesn't.
it's like-
I hope
He
she doesn't
seemed
get
like
mad.
a
He's
At,
a really, I could actually see where people were like, oh, how did that guy get Paige in? But you could tell he's got great energy,
Yeah.
like he's a positive guy.
I hope she doesn't
And
get
like-
mad about the birthday boob. But she posted them on Instagram saying,
Yeah,
look at
I'm
my,
sure
look
he
at my
did
boobs.
not at all.
I was trying to phrase it in the way where I didn't disrespect.
How often do you do this, Adam, where you tell a joke and then you tweet something out and then you second guess yourself?
All the time.
Yeah,
All
all the
the
time.
All the
so,
time.
So Adam randomly the other day, he's like, "Hey man, how you doing? I hope your neck's getting better." And I was like, "Oh, that's nice of him." And then I checked Twitter, and he's like, "Alan Jouban out of the fight because he hurt his neck taking selfies or something." I was like, "Oh, he was
what
making
a
up.
dick.
He was backtracking."
Yes.
And he probably does that
He
all
was
the
basically
time.
apologizing in advance.
Actually, that
Do you do
happened.
that to everyone that you?
No. Only if I really know the person. Even today, like Nick Newell's fighting tonight, and I put like Nick Newell has one arm. I
Yeah.
go, wow, he's got amazing. What you're doing with one hand is amazing. Most amazing is Bisping, who won the title with no hands.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
It's really more a shot at Bisping.
Yeah, she has a Bisping, right?
Yeah.
But I know, but I'm like, oh shit, I hope Bisping doesn't get pissed. But then his kid liked it, Callum
Oh, yeah.
Bisping,
But I kind of didn't get that one
because he's got no hands as far as like hands, like strength, like
power or just
power
because
power.
Okay.
He does have power. He knocked out.
I'm not
Rockhold.
trying to make the joke not a good, but he is kind of he's kind of more of a boxer. You know?
A lot of my
That's what I
jokes.
was thinking when
Yeah.
I was like, but isn't he? He's not really a grappler. He's a
more of a
boxer.
boxer.
But he never
yeah.
really was known for his punching power.
You fucked up, dude. You fucked up.
But he won a title.
Yeah, he did because the
From
guy,
his punching power.
Because the guy put his chin out, going, "This guy's
But
not gonna
still,
hurt me."
again, that is what the problem I had with it was like.
Yeah.
But I thought all he had was his hand.
He boxed the fuck out of Kung Lee.
Okay, fine.
But that was
But his son still liked it. Like, yeah, fuck you, Dad.
So Nick Newell is fighting tonight. He does have a shot, and I kind of feel bad for his opponent a little bit because look, Nick Newell obviously he went like 13-1.
It's a lose-lose.
His only loss is to Justin Gaethje. See how good Gaethje's doing, but everyone in the world's rooting for him because also his shot, and it's sort of now his opponent has become the bad guy.
Yeah.
When he just took the fight against Nick Newell.
You know what I feel like? I was just looking at. I saw on Instagram Dana White just posted like a little promo video promoting Nick Newell. And yeah, they do a little bit of this stuff promoting the Contender Series, but Dana's notorious for sometimes, I don't know if this is pre-thought out or if it's just him backtracking, but you know, like kind of like girls will never be in the UFC, and then all of a sudden Ronda Rousey's the next biggest thing who he's pushing. Same thing with Nick Newell. He's just like, you know, I don't want him, or he's got one arm. What are people going to say if I put a one-arm guy? And you think, well, you put CM Punk, you put other people who
No,
are
he didn't say
far
that.
less.
There was a guy who had no arms and no legs that was fighting.
Oh, that's who we were talking about?
That's who you talked about.
But we brought up Nick Newell before, too, and they said Nick Newell. They go, dude,
Really?
if this guy gets seriously hurt, what are you gonna say?
Oh, he was the other guy that had no arms and no legs that was fighting.
That guy I know you're talking about, yeah.
But they banned kicking.
But I
You
feel
couldn't
like he
kick
was
the guy out
almost
of-
kind of like letting the pot boil, like on this Nick Newell thing. I feel like Nick Newell wins his fight tonight. The UFC's really going to back him. I feel like it'll be another guy, even if he doesn't do great in the UFC, it'll be like a Sage Northcutt type guy that that is going to get following. He's going to win or lose. He's going to attract viewers because of he's so unique.
But Nick retired last year. He said he was done with fighting. I don't
Did
really
he?
understand. Like, I like Nick Newell a lot. He's been on the show plenty of times, but he was a good wrestler and a great guy, and he has a gym and this and that. But
He retired after his loss, though, correct?
no, he won a fight.
Oh.
There was a back then it was the WSOF card.
Yeah.
That was one of the funniest things. It was like funny if you hadn't watched fighting because it was like Matt Hamill, Nick Newell, and then that guy that was a crime fighter, like all back to back. So number one, you have a guy who's deaf. So okay, he's fighting. Then you put on a guy with one arm, and then there was a guy that used to dress up as a superhero. But the WSOF didn't capitalize on this. That's what they should have done. But if you don't know fighting and you're like, oh, I'll just stumble upon this, you're like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, what? And then there were two brothers fighting on the same card too. I think that was a different card, but it was like a little
If you
strange.
think about it, UFC 1 didn't start out much differently. They had a bunch of sideshow acts.
But they wouldn't have a deaf guy and a guy with one arm, and then a guy who was a crime fighter at night dressed up as a superhero. Like he was fucking like what was the name of that? That was one of my favorite ones. The guy McLovin was in. What was he?
Yeah. What was that?
What was the one where the little girl, It Girl, and Nicolas Cage was in it, and that was one of my favorite ones.
what was that one called? Shit.
That one was great.
Bad guy.
That was really
Girl
funny.
was like Chloe Moretz or whatever. Was
number
the
one and
girl
number two was good too. Number two was actually really good also.
Yeah. Oh, Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass. That was a good series.
That was a great one. No, it was very good.
Yeah. That was Nick Nolte. He was so Nick Cage was
Nick
so
Cage,
funny.
yeah.
Dude, Nick Cage is like his kid is like insane now, but back in the day his kid wanted to wrestle. And there was no wrestling team in like Beverly Hills, so he funded the whole team just to give his kid a team to play.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's pretty nice to have that option, right? You know.
Nick Cage is either great or just laughably bad. It's one or the other. There's no in between.
Yeah.
You know?
So PFL was last week. I think they're putting all their money into like the $1 million prizes and none of it into advertising because they had a great card, but once again, no one knows about it. I know about it because I had friends that were on it.
Was it broadcast anywhere?
Yeah, it's on NBC Sports.
I don't even know the results.
And it's on Facebook Live. And I look up and there's 1,200 people watching this. 1,200 people on Facebook Live.
For $1 million prize.
Yeah, in each weight class, $1 million.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I'm like, what are they doing?
Didn't Lance Palmer fight?
They had some great cards. So Sean Jordan, he fought. He lost to the Huggy Bear. He had to lose weight to make heavyweight the last fight. He came in overweight at heavyweight. Sean Jordan at one point knocked out the Black Beast. I mean, he really fell off.
Oh, Sean Jordan, the guy from Louisiana, yeah.
Yeah, the guy who does backflips and shit. Like,
I didn't remember.
His career is not. He looked like he was completely out of shape. Daniel Gallimore, I know him. He did one of my comedy shows. Big Kansas heavyweight was going for go-go platas as a heavyweight. He lost his fight, but looked good. Kevin Tiller, he goes by Mama's Boy. That's his nickname, Mama's Boy, and he's got this like big black mama, who's hilarious, screaming. He beat Jared Rosho by a guillotine. Ross Schultz was like an All-American wrestler.
Oh, yeah,
2 or
yeah.
3 time All-American wrestler. And then at the end, he was like, they're like, what are you going to do with $1 million? And he's like, I'm going to buy my mama some weed.
Nice.
Or he said, I'm going to buy her a weave.
Wait,
I don't
was
understand
this-
what he said.
this
Both
was-
are good presents.
This was the final fight for the million, or
This
no?
was all on the undercard.
Oh.
On the main card, Steven Seiler beat Almeida.
But I mean, they didn't give away $1 million at the end of every fight, did they?
No.
They're just still in
It's a whole
rotation to
tournament.
win
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So Steven Seiler won. He actually, and then what's his name's boy lost? Your boy, Mike Perry's boy lost. Alex Nicholson.
Oh yeah,
He got knocked out.
at would weight.
I don't know. It was a good fight though.
He's big, right?
He lost to Philip Lins. He was talking a ton of shit.
But this is like at 205 or heavyweight.
Might have been 205.
Bro, I saw, if it's the same guy I'm thinking of, I saw that guy in wherever my last fight was, Orlando, at the coffee shop, him and his wife. And dude, that guy is huge now.
Yeah.
That guy is a beast.
He beat what's his name, Rico Rodriguez at heavyweight on the Cam Soda fighting.
He was like kind of
They
a
were doing, like,
skinnier
a porn-
180.
They were advertising porn
On
and
Cam
fighting on
Soda?
Cam Soda.
He was like a middleweight at one point in the UFC, I think. But when I
Yeah.
saw him, dude,
Don't
he
get me
was
wrong, I like
yoked
Cam
up.
Soda.
He knocked out Nick Hune his last fight,
yeah.
and then he came back and lost his fight. Steven Seiler beat Almeida, but there was the second event in a row where the guy didn't tap and the ref stops the fight, and the guy is like looking at him.
Oh,
like,
I saw something about that. Yeah.
And then Andre Harrison won again. He's 19-0 now, and Lance Palmer looked great. So that was a fucking great card, but no one knows about it.
Did you see our girl Heather in
Heather
Invicta?
Joe Clark won it in Invicta. She won her fight.
Heather won.
Oh, hey!
She won her fight. Started crying afterwards. Connor's in the ring
Probably 'cause she missed
celebrating,
me.
and they don't interview her.
Oh.
I'm like, what? Are you got? Yeah. But there's another girl who won.
Was that Kate Henson or something like
Felicia
that?
Spencer. This girl's
that her?
5-0. She's a 6th grade algebra teacher, and she looks like a badass. She wants to fight Megan Anderson, who was there.
Yeah, that's the girl I'm thinking of.
And then Jin Yu Fry won again. So it was a good event. Victor was good. In bare knuckle boxing, Phil Baroni is fighting Chris Lieben.
I want to see that.
In bare
I
knuckle
really
boxing.
want to see that so bad.
Jeez, you're gonna break your fucking hands on Chris Lieben's head.
Yeah, I know. Who do you think's gonna win?
Lieben. Well,
Really?
it depends. I don't know. I mean, I who knows what these guys are doing or when's the last time they fought what they look like right now. But Lieben is just, his head is the size of, our bodies.
Kendall Groves starting with bare knuckle boxing.
What?
Kendall Groves now doing bare knuckle boxing. The
Oh, wow.
Spider. I don't know why, but good for him, I think.
You saw the last event, right? The last bare knuckle boxing one?
It was
I didn't
awesome.
watch it, but just seeing the guys after the fight, they were like, oh, this is one of the best fights in history, but these guys are probably dead today. That was like a month ago when that fight happened. They take so much damage, bro. Their faces, their hands were broken.
So here's the poster for the next bare knuckle boxing too. Rowdy Beck's on the cover. She's the champ. It's
Can't
gonna
wait
be
to top line the bare knuckle fighting.
also fighting on this. It's in Biloxi, Mississippi. Crazy Horse Bennett is fighting on the card.
Oh, wow.
Tony Lopez, Chris Lytle.
That's who was on the last one.
No, but
Tony
the
Bedford.
undercard though is all bum fights though, right?
It's Shoemaker
Bum
versus
fights.
Jackson.
All the undercard is like
Joey Beltran versus Adams.
Joey 40 ounce versus Mickey Pease himself. That's in one of those undercard bum fights. They have Trash Can Willie. Trash Can Willie is taking on Night Train. So that's going to be a great one. My money's on Night Train, if I'm being honest.
And then War Machine got engaged in prison.
Nice.
Nice?
Wait.
Really?
Wait a minute, to someone
Engaged,
else
dude.
in prison?
No, to a girl.
Outside of prison.
Outside of
Okay.
prison. Yeah,
That requires some
No, not
otherwise, a lot's going on in that story for us. We would have to unpack that one headline at a time.
a girl who's actually not that bad looking, pretty attractive. Now, I mean, why do you want to get engaged to a guy like War Machine who just domestic violence, almost killed Chrissy Mack? Like, why is he the guy if you're a female?
Because you want someone to beat up your ex-boyfriend.
He's not getting out till he's 70.
He's what?
He's not getting released from prison until he's at least 70.
She just
Really?
wants to wear the ring. I'm married. Oh, he's not around.
And it was just from writing letters?
Yeah, writing letters and stuff.
Jesus Christ.
What is it about these girls? That's like a website, like plentyofconvicts.com. It's like, no, there really is one. I don't
Yeah.
know. Or you can meet someone in prison.
Yeah.
Convicts only?
Yeah, convicts only. Like, why? What is it about? Is it like a mental illness, you think?
Maybe it's something about the commitment level that they're comfortable with.
I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer got married like 3 times, and then the other guys.
Richard
yeah,
Ramirez,
but he kept
too.
promising to eat him out. Boom, rack it up.
And then the Menendez brothers are both married.
Yeah, some women that I don't know. I think it's a combination of, the pity thing.
The ultimate bad boy. he's a lifer.
Yeah,
We'll never meet.
And the lack of desire to have someone actually in their life on a daily basis. I think they feel safe. Like, hey, listen, he can't ruin my life for
Or
me.
maybe they also think that it's the easy, like, when they die, they'll
Get money.
they'll get they'll be the only beneficiary.
But look, guy like War Machine doesn't have any money.
Might have something, man. Might have some money in the account, or bought a house at one point, some assets, and then they get married and he dies off
I remember
one
he
day.
used to do porn. He used to email girls like DMs his own porn and be like, "This could be you," and it actually worked. I know a chick that banged him.
I think that's what it is, man. I think they're thinking, fuck it, I'll just marry this guy and then go around and sleep with whoever I want, and then hopefully this guy gets picked off in jail one day, and I'll be the beneficiary.
I can see like the Menendez brothers.
That's deep. Man.
I can see that. I can see that for the Menendez brothers.
Just came to me.
But like Jeffrey Dahmer, I mean, who's taking Dahmer's money?
Yeah, I mean, because they're gonna do stories.
All right,
Dahmer's
so,
got to have some money, right?
so this week,
From the publishing rights to something.
Yeah, I mean something. I mean,
this week, week
famous.
one championship, which is this Thursday night. It's Martin Wynn against Kevin Bellingham, but Aoki's fighting on it. Shin Aoki against Shannon Warachat. Also, Henzo Gracie's fighting
What?
against Yuki Kanda.
Wait, a real fight? What are we talking about?
I think it might be grappling, but
Okay.
he's on the. It doesn't say grappling.
He can't be fighting.
Henzo Gracie.
Enzo Gracie?
Yeah.
It says Henzo Gracie
What?
versus Yuki Kanda. And then
But this is in Japan.
in Japan.
Okay, because
And Gary Tonin is fighting Rahul Raju on that same
on the same card. Okay, well,
Yeah,
Gary
yeah.
Tonin is fighting MMA now.
Yeah, it's an MMA card. It's
But in Japan, sometimes it's like half kickboxing, half grappling, half.
yeah, how old is Henzo Gracie at this point?
God, he's got to be. I don't want to say the wrong number, and then he come over here and kick all our ass.
At least in his 40s.
You know what I'm saying?
He just walks in. He just comes in.
He's right. Fuck, he's right there.
Japan.
Yeah, no.
I would just be like, play dead, Greg. Just play dead.
Yeah.
Also, James on Friday night, LFA, James Nakashima, who's 6-0, taking on Kyle Stewart. That's good. Also, a very black name, Deshaun Boatwright. That's a cool name, right? Against Matt Sennelsberger, and then that's on LFA. This week on UFC, Calgary, Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, the rematch. I'm picking.
You know you want to go with Alvarez.
I want to go with Alvarez, but I think Poirier's got it.
Yeah.
Well, there it is. There's the truth.
I got Poirier, yeah.
You're a Louisiana
Poirier.
guy? Are you,
Yeah.
you guys friends?
I'm going to root for Alvarez because I want to root for the guy I like.
I like Eddie too.
So I'm going for Alvarez. I'm not gonna sit here and root for some guy.
Jeremy
I don't wanna-
Stevens versus Jose Aldo.
I actually like
That's a
Alvarez.
hard one, dude. It's hard to pick that one.
Just because of the momentum that Stevens has had, I'm gonna go with him.
I'm picking Aldo.
Me too. I'm going Stevens.
Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Tisha Torres.
Jędrzejczyk. Fist of Fury. Tiny little Fist of Fury.
Isn't Joanna like a minus 1,000, or no, minus 1,000 favorite?
Really?
No
Something like
way.
that.
huh?
If that's the
Really?
case, I'm picking Tisha.
Or is this
In your
crazy
parlay
odds?
that you're going to lose because you actually put money on it.
Yeah, OAM is taking on Alexander Hernandez. I don't know either of those guys. Alex Moreno, I know him, right? Against Jordan Mean. Austin Arnett.
Jordan Mean.
Mean, yeah.
Man, he's still fighting?
He's still fighting.
God, I feel like he goes away for like a year or
He's
two
your
at a
weight.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
'Cause
fighting
I don't-
diabetes.
I haven't seen him fight in years.
I don't
feel
know
like.
anything about it. I'm just kidding.
And then Austin Arnett, I like him.
Diabetes.
Taking on Hakeem Dawodu, who everyone's talking big stuff about. Like, this guy's the next big thing. Trained with Conor McGregor. Got knocked out in like a minute, his first fight in.
Oh,
but
yeah.
that doesn't mean anything. Cajun Johnson's taking on Islam Makhachev. That's on the main card. And on the prelim, McDessie versus Ross Pearson.
Oh. Ross Pearson.
Yeah.
Here's
Oh,
a guy that
McDessie.
that's a name you expect to hear in the bare knuckle box.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, how is he? This guy, every time I see him, I'm like, how?
Yeah.
Did they?
I think he may beat McDessie, though.
It's just when I see him physically, I'm like, dude,
Alexis Davis versus Caitlin
let your face
Chukagian.
alone, man. You've taken enough. Like,
Branda Marcos versus Nina Ansara.
I got a lot of respect for the guy. I mean, he's still in there. He's still doing it, but it's always amazing
that's a
that
good
he's
fight.
still in there and
Which
still
one,
doing
Randa?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Randa Nina's a good fight.
Yeah, it is.
They say Nina beats up everyone at ATT, but she sometimes doesn't put it together in fights. Her girlfriend is the champ.
Amanda Nunes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for that.
But Marcos sometimes wins the fights. I think she's going to
Nunez,
lose.
she's cool.
Loses the fights, going to win. Also, Ryzen, this fight I want to see. Takanori Gomi taking on Melvin Gillard. It's a good fight. Ryzen FF 11. You not excited about that fight? Melvin Gillard? Gomi?
No.
A little past our prime.
Have they fought before?
No, but Gillard's like the guy that like should have been the greatest fight ever, but like the worst fight IQ.
Right.
Yes.
And Gomi's the guy that just couldn't put it together in the UFC, but still amazing legend.
Gillard, he just seemed to always let his emotions get the better of him.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, he's fighting, and so that. Yeah, and then Mike Perry versus Cerrone.
Ooh.
Your take on that?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, man.
Good fight either way. I think it's going to be a good fight.
Thanks, Joe. But who do you think's going to win?
I think Mike Perry's going to win.
I want Cerrone to win. I think he's going to outclass him, but Perry looked great his last fight.
Yeah.
But aren't they both the Jacksons now?
This is the thing, though. Perry looked good in his last fight, but Felder's a beast.
He did break his arm in the first round.
But
too.
yeah, Felder is a 55er who went up in weight, and Felder's a big 55er. But I'm just saying, Perry probably had a decent size advantage, weight advantage maybe. Although I talked to Felder and I was surprised how much he weighed. But nonetheless, Felder went up in weight, and he broke his arm in the first round and still went to a decision against Perry. So it's kind of like Perry looked good, but shit, man, like, you know, I'm not trying to take anything away from Felder because Felder's a damn beast, but man, you're fighting a smaller guy with a broken arm, and he didn't put him away. So
I feel like you laid out the game plan on how to beat Mike Perry, though, right?
yeah, kind of gave the blueprint. I don't know, man. I think Cowboy could pick him apart as long as he just keeps his range. You can't go in range with
Now,
Perry.
are Mike Perry's fans still attacking your Instagram feed or Twitter feed?
Oh, I don't know. I don't care anymore. That boat is sailed. I don't even like have beef with Perry anymore. It's fun to watch. He's a fun guy to watch fight.
Now, aren't they both the Jacksons now? So what happens now with Greg Jackson?
That's what's kind of weird too, man. Because like, same thing with Paul Felder. Paul Felder was at Jackson's and Cowboys training camp for a long time, and so that must have been kind of weird. But
would you ever fight a guy in your training camp?
I mean, it would have to be the right fight, the right money. You know what I mean? If it was like your partner that you're going against all the time, that'd be a little weird. But you know, people are in camps and they sometimes never even cross paths. So
Right.
I assume it's like that because Cowboy trains predominantly, from what I hear, at his own BMF ranch or whatever. He doesn't really go to Jackson's, probably except for like sparring there or something. So who knows? But I was kind of jealous about that fight. It's a big fight for Cowboy. I mean for Mike.
Yeah, I hope Cowboy wins though. I mean, I know people like Perry and he's a good guy who's misunderstood, but I don't know. Man.
He's misunderstood.
I don't know. I just can't get behind.
Is it his use of the N-word?
that doesn't turn me on to him. And I just feel like when he was breakdancing when Ellenberger was knocked out, that was just
Yeah, that one was a little bit
Go check on
distasteful.
the guy you just knocked out.
Yeah.
I know you're happy, but just breakdance afterwards.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but I mean, it may be that he wasn't like breakdancing at him. He wasn't like, you know, like,
he was doing backflips
popping, like, he was
off his forehead. He was like using his forehead into like, yeah, maybe. I have no reason to not like Mike Perry.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, he was just excited.
By the way, Ellenberger is fighting Brian Barberena.
Yeah, he had a quick turnaround, Ellenberger, and I think it was just because, you know, he got hit with that liver shot, so he wasn't injured. Just
Yeah.
Do you think that's smart for him?
To fight, look, man, I think maybe he wants to go out. I think a lot of these guys want to go out on a win.
Yeah.
And I think that loss haunts him. But then you see guys like Jens Pulver and Gary Goodrich, where they lose 7 or 8 in a row or 9 of the last 10, and you're like, man, was this worth it? I mean, when he got knocked out by Mike Perry with that fucking elbow, he was out for a while.
Yeah.
And you know, Jake's a nice guy, and I love Jake, and I don't want to see him get knocked out.
No, he's a great guy.
At the same time, Barberena's not exactly a power puncher.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad matchup for him. Ben Saunders, as you know, is probably a really tricky guy to fight. You got a long, tall guy, Muay Thai,
his best thing when I was preparing for Ben was don't clinch with him, and I'm comfortable in the clinch, but I was like, don't clinch with him because his knees go 7 feet high, and there's no point even giving him that window, and so I just always aborted every time he clinched. But then Jake initiated the clinch, and I know he was trying to wrestle, but still he put him in a clinch position and ate a knee, and the fight was over. Man, he just can't be in that position with.
The thing about that guy also, he's dangerous off his back. He's one of those dudes that is a high level. There are certain guys that really adapt to that Eddie Bravo 10th Planet.
I always knew Ben was going to be a killer if he came over and did the rubber guard stuff, because when I was watching him in Bellator 10 years ago, or however, when he first got to Bellator and he was throwing up rubber guard, but he didn't know what he was doing, I was like, fuck, if he came here and had somebody tell him, ABC, this is the order to do it, he'd be a killer. And sure
there's
enough.
certain guys like him that can do it. Other guys go to pull guard, or like my friend Smolino, who fought in the PFL. I love Smolino, but he was winning his fight against a guy who's fighting actually Vinny Magalish. He was the former champion of Bellator. He was in mount, and he kept giving up mount to go for ankle locks.
I hate stupid shit.
And
like that.
getting out of mount, and then getting mounted himself. It was the second round. The guy was bloody, sweaty, and I'm like, there's a guy who probably in jiu-jitsu class, this works amazingly.
Right.
And this is a great technique if there were no strikes involved. But in my opinion, he lost the fight
Either
because of his love for jiu-jitsu.
Right, either too much jiu-jitsu in his ear or just inexperience. Because you see young guys do that. They're like, oh, I'm going to go for, a flying triangle or something when you have a dominant guy, a positioning a guy against a cage or whatever. It's like it's more about the position and the percentages, but you don't learn those percentages unless you've either studied a shitload of fighting by watching it, or you're in the cage. And
I think a lot of times you get these guys who are really good at one type of martial art. Like Smolino was a great boxer, and then they pick up jiu-jitsu, or they pick up, or like Rwanda picked up boxing. It's like a new toy.
Right, it's a new
like,
toy.
oh my
They
god,
fall in love with it, and all they want to do is use the new toy.
And then you saw that with Koscheck and that overhand right, where you're like, dude, you're a Division I national champion.
Yeah.
You have that overhand right, but know when to use it. And a lot of these guys, they don't know when to use it. And look, I'm watching from my couch. They know a lot better than I know how to fucking use this stuff. But if I was Smolino's coach, and I'm like, all right, you got a guy in mounted position.
You farted?
Do not give it up to go for a heel hook.
Are you fighting over there? Oh,
He
you
farted.
It might be him.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
My dog.
Yeah, this guy definitely farted earlier.
My
Me?
apologies.
No, I didn't fart.
Oh, the dog.
Oh, the dog farts all the time.
Yeah, he got right up on here and immediately farted in my face.
Dude, by the way, his dog is
But
the
you were
funny.
in the middle of the promos,
Alan,
so I didn't want to fucking
Alan, I
interrupt.
think of your dog actually a lot because
My old dog or my new dog?
your old dog.
Oh, get busted? Yeah.
Dude, this dog is like, it's like a American bulldog, right?
English bulldog.
English, yeah, but they
And
were
it's
both got a little something
like
in them.
60 pounds overweight, right? And he comes into the podcast and snores. Like you could hear
Oh,
him.
yeah.
You
That
hear him
was
in the other room, right?
One of those comedy clubs.
I'm like, geez, like nothing more than you want to hear snoring during the entire podcast, right?
And you know what's funny?
So then he
His name
takes-
was Buster, but I would call him Bubba, and then Bubba was doing the podcast with us, and I was like, Bubba. Bubba kept looking
Then
at me.
Alan takes his legs to drag him out, and he remains sleeping while he's being dragged out.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is the cutest, coolest
Yeah.
dog. Then you said someone came and robbed you, and broke into your house, which you had like a fighter's house. The last guy.
Well, I was living in an upstairs apartment at the time, and they put a ladder to my balcony and climbed the ladder, came into my and they went in my house, and when they stole my bike, and my dog was sleeping right there the whole time.
did nothing.
Shit.
Dog didn't even
Didn't
get up.
wake up.
Didn't even. He just like the dog did
Yeah.
absolutely nothing.
Like,
The
good
dog
job,
was like, hey
Buster.
guys, easy, keep it down.
Keep it down.
Keep it down. I'm trying to sleep over here.
I fucking hate that.
Take the bike and get the fuck out.
So Weendawg, we have not talked about your sex life. We're gonna wrap up the show.
My non-existent sex
Why?
life.
What's going
dude.
on?
Uh-oh, he sounds less happy about it this week.
It's freaking bullshit.
Why? What happened?
Because Alan, my girlfriend, I've been dating this girl for like 4 or 5 months now, but she's a virgin, and she like wants to like have like a special moment with like the person that she loves to take her virginity or whatever, right?
Yep.
So I'm respecting that. I'm not pushing it or anything like that. I'm like trying to rush anything for her because I'm respectful. I really like this girl.
Yep.
But it's like, come on, you gotta at least jack me off or something like that.
Does she
You're right about that.
Wait, does she jack you
Or
up?
use her mouth or something.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
be like, listen. Do you like playing dice? And she'll say yes. Go, well, you got to practice your role, and then just put your dick right there.
No, but I mean, yeah. So it's kind of rough.
Yeah, I love playing dice. That's so all the girls are saying it.
You haven't been to the hood.
So common
okay,
now.
perhaps. All right, so wait, so
I love dice.
Wait, so you haven't got a hand job from her?
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's not like I don't even really like hand jobs. Really,
Nobody does because we can do it.
It sucks, dude.
Yeah, we could do a hand job.
Yeah, but she's very insecure,
So
to herself kind of girl.
So no, like, blowjob?
conservative. No, not really. I've gone down on her. I don't even like getting blowjobs, to be honest with you.
You want to screw.
I wanted to. So for me, it's all about her pleasure because that's what turns me on.
Right.
That's why I'm a dominatrix at the same time. Like, you know, the 50 Shades of Grey shit. That's me, dude.
Wait, what do you mean you're a dominatrix?
Like I'm the dominant person.
That doesn't. That's
He wears leather
She's in
heels.
50
That's
Shades
not
of
what
Grey.
that-
He wears leather heels, leather panties.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
That's not what it means. Dominatrix being the dominant person. You know that, right?
Yeah, I mean, well,
my.
my girlfriend, she's a submissive, right? And I
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
You know, so I want to tie her up. She likes bondage stuff. That's what I'm planning to do.
Have you tied her up yet?
No, because we very rarely have time, like, alone.
Yeah.
And whenever
But she
we,
did you have brain surgery recently?
yeah, she did just have brain surgery. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't want to tie her up because
There's
of
a
that?
lot going on here.
There's many layers to this relationship.
Right.
First, her brain's got to heal.
Yeah, but I'm excited.
Then
Like,
she has to remember who you are, and then fall in love
once
with
the
you.
amnesia wears
And this
off.
happens every day.
Yeah.
Wait, is her brain healed yet?
Yeah, I mean, there's just a big scar in her head. It's no big deal.
Wait, it's
That's good. Okay, good. So she's healing.
What do you mean it's no big deal?
Now,
It's
is
no
her
big
hair
deal.
just shaved in one patch, or is her whole head?
It's just one strip down
Just
her
one
head.
strip. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
It's like we'll be sitting there and then she'll pull off a big ass scab with like stitches inside the scab and there's like this hair in the scab. She'll just pull it off and be like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "That's disgusting, dude."
Wait, why is she pulling off the stitches?
Because they fall out.
Right.
They just fall out naturally.
Because it's supposed to. Yeah, they dissolve. Right?
Okay, all right.
They're not,
so
they don't dissolve. They actually just fall out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
now, okay, so she's living with her parents. Have you had time alone in your car, or
Oh yeah. Like in the beginning of our relationship, that's all we would do. We'd finger blast in the car, finger in the car. You know.
now?
Well, listen, you got to give her time, man. She's gone through a real experience there. So
of course.
Well, you gotta
You know
get her,
what I
you gotta
mean?
get her
Like-
really, really wet though. Also, to the point where she's
I
like.
think you could do that. I believe in your ability to make her wet.
But I feel like-
he's thinking you just need to set her down in a puddle.
No, well that too, but I think you have to get her to the point where she's so wet and ready. That she's like, take me.
She can't resist the Weendawg. Well, you know what her favorite thing to do is? It's kind of fucked up. Her favorite thing to do is like to make me get a boner around her parents. Like she'll try to like jack
that's
me
great.
off like with her parents in the same room.
Yeah.
And I have to like face the wall and like so they don't see me, or I have to put a pillow over my lap.
Wait, what do you
Oh
mean?
my God,
Why are you
that's
facing the
great.
wall? Wait,
So
where?
they don't see my boner?
But where
She's a little
her
naughty.
parents?
She likes it.
Yeah,
Wait, where her
Dude,
parents?
you're missing the signal.
Wait, so
here.
you're in the room with the parents?
Like I'll be cooking with her mom in the kitchen. I'll be helping her mom cook, and when her mom's not looking, she'll come like and just start jacking my dick, and I'll be like, "Dude, I mean,
Oh,
you
that's
can keep
gross.
going. You can for sure keep going, but you better behave. You better calm down."
Has her mom caught you yet?
No way, dude.
Alan, has your wife ever jerked you off in front of her parents?
No.
Yeah, dude. It's
No,
scary.
that was a quick no. No.
Scary.
Even if the answer was yes, the answer is no.
Alan, how long did it take for you and your wife to
No.
fornicate? No. Like a month, 2 months?
No.
This one's staying with the
Nice.
Weendawg on this topic.
Got it.
Yeah,
That's good.
man. That's a good relationship. I'm
Weendawg.
But see, but here's the thing. I think you're missing the signal here. Clearly, you got to do it with the parents in the room.
No.
See, this is what turns her
Have you ever
on.
taken the girl with her parents in the room?
I'm trying to think. I think so.
Really?
I feel like it happened. At least in the very next room with the door open. So I think I've been caught a few times. But so that's the thing. Clearly, that's what makes her hot is this notion of getting caught. And so this is what you got to bring in. This is your angle. See, she's saying, I want to be special and raindrops and everything. But then you get in that situation like at the beach house and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Why? There's no element of danger, man.
Yeah.
The danger is what she's into. Now, maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be like getting caught by the parents. Maybe it's just like you're out like at a park and you could get caught, by somebody, and that's where
Yeah,
it
dude.
happens.
Yeah, I
so I
love
think
that.
you need to focus on the element of danger.
But I'm starting to get her back now. Like whenever we're with her parents, I start to try to finger blast her a little bit, and she always resists. But I always manage to wiggle my way.
Well, when she
no matter
says,
how many
when
times
she says
says
stop,
no.
you got to
dude.
stop though, right? What do you mean she tries to?
What?
Well, when she resists, you have to stop.
I mean, not like. I mean, come on.
Well, she says, "Get your hands out of my pants," and what do?
I just say I know you like it, and I just I'll massage her vagina on the outside of the pants, because that will work them up, dude.
Yeah.
Once you work them up, there's no turning back. Right. They're in the danger zone, so that's when I just make my move. I just slide on in there.
Right
Okay, and how's your blue belt doing, by the way?
Blue, dude, it's good. I went back to jiu-jitsu last night after a little tiny break. Dude, I'm probably better than I've ever been in my life, man. I'm a savage blue belt, tapping out people. Let alone it's new people that come to the gym that have never had any jiu-jitsu experience. But
Have you ever tapped out a purple belt?
I did tapped out a purple belt last night in a Dars. Tapped out blue belt last night.
What about a brown belt?
No. Alan, want to roll really quick?
Wow.
Right now, you would get me, man.
Alan, are you a brown belt?
He's brown.
Nice.
He was there when I got my blue belt.
Nice.
Eddie Bravo was there.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that was fun.
Nice.
All right. Well, is that now? Is Jared?
Phenom on our hands?
Is
What if you had
Jared
to
fighting
really do
again or no?
something?
I don't think so. Do you know Adam? Or is Jared fighting again? Carlson?
Carl, man, he's texting me right now. Let me ask him. I don't think so, though, huh? I think he might be playing the jiu-jitsu.
He's the best guy that I've ever seen that wasn't as successful as a fighter as I thought he'd be. There's a guy at the gym who was just so hard to roll with.
Well, with Jared, the problem was he just went pro, man. I mean, everybody did it back in the day, but, he didn't have an AME career. He went straight into the pros, and then he kind of realized, okay, I'd like to get some more fights and experience, but he was already at that level, so.
Yeah.
Well, it's crazy, dude. Did you ever see that show Gigolos?
Yeah.
On what was it, like Showtime or something like that? The dude from the show was at 10th Planet last night training, Nick Hawk.
One of the gigolos
On the show.
Nice.
He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Really?
Yeah.
And he's a gigolo in real life?
Yeah.
Wow. You watch gigolos?
Well, those guys are
It's
pretty
one of my
fit,
favorite
generally.
shows. What's that?
Dude, those guys are generally pretty fit.
All right.
Yeah.
So what do you got coming up?
I got the Paranormal Hour podcast. I might be working at a daycare pretty soon.
No.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! Wait. Stop.
No.
Stop the show.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. We gotta take this detour.
Daycare, dude.
Okay, explain us to us. Don't name the daycare.
No, I'm not.
I mean, tell us afterwards. So
Who's
we can
hiring
go
you to
over-
work in a daycare?
And what? What?
I mean, I can't go.
Is it your parents?
No.
daycare?
It's just a daycare. They need some employees, and they're looking for students, which will give you a hint to where the daycare is at. But it's at my school. The daycare is at my school.
Okay,
It's
cool.
like for college kids or college people who are going to college need to put their kids somewhere for the day.
Okay.
And I'm very good around kids. Adam,
Yeah,
if you
I
need me
can
to
see
watch
that.
your daughter
Never.
or Alan, you need a babysitter. I'm actually pretty good with kids.
I believe it. I'd have you watch my kid.
We're good.
All right.
All right. So, and then what else you got going on?
That's it, my brother. Jiu-Jitsu 10 Planet. Come stop by. Got a lot of fans of the show at 10 Planet. Or say, people come up to me, call me Weendawg. I have no idea who they are.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Probably the cops. All right. And Greg, what do you got going on?
This weekend, I will be at Laughs Unlimited in Sacramento.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday headlining, so join me out there in Sacktown. And then immediately after that, I'll be at the LA Comedy Club at Stratosphere in Las Vegas, Monday through the following Sunday.
Nice. Tell
So
Team
that's
Alpha Male to
really-
come.
What's that?
Tell Team Alpha Male to come and support you.
Up in Sacramento?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You tell them. If anyone's listening from Team Alpha Male, come out and see the show. I'll be over there at Laughs Unlimited.
Alan, what do you got coming up?
After this, I think I'm gonna go and take care of the podcast MMA Heat. MMA Heat. Me and Karen didn't do the breakdown yet for the fights last weekend, and so if you guys follow us on that one, that'll be coming out probably this afternoon. And then, man, I'm just trying to take care of my neck. I'm trying to get this freaking disc back in order. I probably have to get an epidural tomorrow in the neck. It's gonna be pretty uncomfortable. The epidural in the spinal cord, and see if that gets rid of the inflammation. I'm trying to do everything possible to avoid surgery. So as soon as the neck's healed, man, I'm just trying to fight. Yeah.
Tomorrow night, Wednesday night, I'm in Anaheim at the Phantom Ales. And then Saturday night, I'm in Montreal at the Montreal Comedy Festival on the LOL Showcase, Laugh Out Loud Showcase. Thursday the 9th, I'm at the Comedy Store in LA. And then August 11th, I'm in Alhambra at the Azul Ultra Lounge. Then in Springfield, Illinois, August 30th and 31st, the Blue Room Comedy Club. Chattanooga, Tennessee, to September 6th to the 8th. Rochester, New York, September 20th to the 22nd. And I'm at Laugh Lines in New Westminster, British Columbia, September 28th and 29th. And then Funny Bone in Des Moines, October 11th to the 13th. And then Omaha, Nebraska, Funny Bone, October 14th. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Austin. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Weendawg. Thank you, Greg. Also, if you're on Amazon.com and you buy stuff off Amazon, go to AdamHunter.com first. Click on the banner, then order stuff on Amazon. I get money from that. Thank you so much, and take care.
Trap songs and trap dansen. Түүний сонсдог хөгжим дур булаан. Даадаш дуулан дур булаа мууруулаа.